Welcome in to No Pun Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. Once again, we are here for the Women of Fantasy Football shows. I am one of your glorious hosts, Faith Enos. Joining me as my co-host for the following 2 weeks, and today is the lovely, the talented, the always beautiful StepMom Lauren.
Who? I'm sorry, you said always beautiful. I'm wondering who you're actually talking about right here. Thank you, Faith. Do I get to introduce our guest now, or is there other things we have to cover? Josh and Joe, thank you for your organizational notes.
You get to introduce our guest.
Yes. Okay, you guys, I'm super excited. So this girl, I love her. You can tell she's over here. Sorry, this is like a mirror. She's over here. Yeah, I still have to get used to that. You guys, I love her. This is Jen Piacenti. Jen, hi. Where can everybody find you if they are not following you already? And welcome back to the show. Although that was less than cool because we weren't on it.
Right.
I felt stoned you said that.
I am so happy to be here. Thanks, guys. Looking so forward to the next hour we're going to spend together chatting about sports and life and whatever we're going to talk about. It doesn't matter. I'm over at Fantasy Alarm. You can find me at Fantasy Alarm all the time. I'm sure people that follow Fantasy Alarm are already sick of my face because I'm always on a video ranting about something. I'm at Fantasy Alarm on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio every Friday night with Justin Finsterman as one of the hosts of Alarm After Hours, and occasionally also on the Fantasy Alarm show with Jim Bowden and Howard Bender. And this is super exciting, brand new, hot off the presses news. I have a new podcast with Chris Meany and Eric Young. Big deal, y'all. Yeah, Eric Young, the wrestler. Look him up. He's a little tough. I definitely don't want to get in the ring with him. So cool. And it is a betting podcast. So twice a week we drop for you sports wagers and player props. 15 minutes, quick, to the point, make some money, go play at Monkey Knife Fight, and use the code STACKS if you do, by the way, so that they know that we sent you. You will get a bonus for that, and it's awesome. So it's quick 15 minutes, like pick these people, don't pick these people, fade this, play this. It's awesome. So check it out. Download it, review it on iTunes. That's my plug. Sticks and Stacks is the name of the podcast.
Love it.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just want to add in that we are now officially a news station and a breaking news outlet because we have had two things be announced on this show with Lauren's new gig and now Jen's new podcast. So I just want to put that out there into the world.
And congrats to both.
Yes, congrats to both of you.
Speaking of news outlets, Joe,
to
you
me?
have some news for us?
Cool. Okay,
you're allowed to speak this time.
Guys, listen, I don't have any exciting news myself. It's just NFL
Boring.
news.
Next.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, the news is actually, it's very fantasy relevant for once and forever at this point. 49ers wide receiver Jalen Hurd out for the year, likely an ACL injury. Very mad. Have him in our Club Fantasy Dynasty League. Really mad about that. Browns running back Nick Chubb, he was evaluated for a concussion. At this point, the concussion protocol takes roughly the amount of time it's going to take it up until week 1. There shouldn't be any worry. Chubb is still going to be a guy that's going to go in the late first, probably early second round. Jaguars tight end Josh Oliver suffered a broken foot. Doesn't matter. I don't know why Josh added that in there. Not that Josh Oliver's broken
Tyler
foot.
Eifert somewhat relevant.
Oh, yes, Tyler Eifert. Go snag him up. He's like tight end 32 right now. That'll be Ryan's stream of the week during week 1.
There you go.
Bengals wide receiver A.J. Green dealing with a hamstring injury. Are we surprised? Along with Cardinals' new play toy, DeAndre Hopkins. He also is dealing with a hamstring injury, as well as Jets rookie wide receiver Denzel Mims. He's also dealing with a case of the Adam Gase, so he actually will be completely irrelevant until that guy leaves the beautiful city of New York. So there's your news and notes. Thank you for throwing it to me, Faith. I'm going to throw it to one more person. This really does feel like a news segment. I hate this. Ryan, please tell us who our first raffle winner is.
And thank you, Joe. No, so our first raffle item in week 2 of our Women of Fantasy Football shows is the signed Cam Akers Rams football, and the winner is Andrew Metcalf.
Woo!
So, congratulations, Andrew. So we will be raffling. No, completely different spelling.
Yeah, we on the screen you can see Metcalf is different.
But so we're going to be raffling 2 more items off today, the Frank Gore jersey and the Rotoviz subscription. But next week we throw out 3 new items for you. So we're going to have a signed Laviska Shenault Colorado Buffaloes mini helmet, a signed Vinny Testaverde Miami Hurricanes jersey, and a Dynasty Trades HQ hoodie for the 3rd item.
Whoop, whoop.
Cool.
Heck
Big
yeah.
ups to Shane Manola for donating that to us.
Yes,
Yes.
big thank you to Shane.
And big ups to Vinny Testaverde for playing quarterback while colorblind.
Heck
Right?
yeah.
Big ups to Tenny. It's been a long.
Tenny
What?
Vestaverde.
Teddy Vestaverde.
Yay, women of fantasy football.
It's been a long week. I was gonna say big ups to Vinny Testaverde for making it through high school with that last name.
True.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it. So,
So
Jen,
congrats
I
to
have.
Andrew. Back to the girls. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I'm glad it's now my turn, so I'm just gonna jump in anyway. But I mean, dude, I can't do it with this whole time. I didn't mean to do that to you, Jen. That was to him.
I'm not good at this either. This
Me
whole
neither.
imaging, like, see, I just thought I turned to you, but
I know.
it's hard.
I feel left out up in this top corner here. Like the girls are hanging out down here. Cool
I did it.
Yeah.
Every time we try to rearrange the squares, they just keep
doesn't
going
work.
this way.
I should know better because with all my years of dance training, like I should know how to reverse something in a mirror, but I still haven't learned.
I can't learn anything, so it's good.
Well,
I'm-
Lauren,
My brain is too full.
I am
Lauren,
inept. Go ahead.
I think that's a great segue into I see one of your questions about performing someplace and somewhere.
What? Yeah.
Take it away.
That wasn't going to be my question.
Well, she said dance, Lauren.
It doesn't matter, Joe. Stop trying to.
Joe, shut up and go to the corner.
Is he grounded yet?
Done, I backed away.
I am your stepmother. You are grounded. So, Jen,
Yes.
you are not only fabulous with pretty much everything and fantasy football and fantasy sports, but little known fact, you are not only a singer and a dancer, but you performed on Broadway. Yay, nay?
Not technically, no. Let me explain. I did
theater.
the Broadway. Yes. Well, I did the Broadway revival production of Candide by Hal Prince. However, when we mounted it, it was technically at Lincoln Center, not on Broadway. So it was run by a different union. So it was an all Broadway cast, the Broadway production, Hal Prince, but technically it was not the Broadway because it was an AGMA contract, which is the singers union and not the actors union. It's a very gray area. Some people say, yes, that's Broadway. Some people say, no, it's not. But essentially, yes. And I did a lot of off-Broadway and sang in a lot of Broadway, lots of opera houses across the country. One thing people may not know is that I actually have 2 degrees in opera.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's strange.
But okay, so this is going to segue into my next question. So which one is more difficult? Your Broadway singing, dancing, acting, or fantasy sports? Because I can't just say fantasy football, fantasy sport. Which one is more difficult?
I would say singing, acting, and dancing is more difficult because there is a level of rejection that you have to deal with on a daily level, and not everyone can participate. And there is very much a club, and you very much have to try to get in it and work very, very hard. And also it's very expensive. If you want to compete at the highest level, you have to move to New York City. You have to kind of have 7 jobs. You have to work hard. And then you have the breaks where you're working a show and you're fully employed and you're on top of the world. And then all of a sudden they pull the plug and the show closes and you're back to selling coffee at Starbucks or whatever you do, or running a business. I had a business in New York and things like that. But so it just takes a lot more. Whereas fantasy sports, like, you can always do it. You can always be with a group. You may not always win, but if you don't win, just go play with people that suck. Like, you can find them.
Facts.
Like, if you want someone to feel like you win.
They do exist.
So they do exist. Once you get to the higher levels and you're playing with a lot of pros like you guys do, as you know, it is really competitive. And there's so much luck, but there's luck with every career, I guess. So I would definitely say, though, there's a lot more, obstacles when you're performing. And you take even more hits publicly if people don't like your work.
Right.
when you're out there kind of nakedly singing or whatever, and the New York Times comes and you're just like, oh, please like me, please like me, please like me, So, yeah.
God, so now that I have heartburn just thinking about that anxiety, can somebody else take over? Because I need some Pepto.
But it's terrible. And I loved it, and I had the time of my life doing it.
I know. So I used to sing for a couple of years, but it was like at a bar, not off Broadway or anything. But I mean, that was fun. But I still had like terrible stage fright when it comes to singing. I could get up in front of a 500-person lecture class and talk. Everybody knows that about me. I don't shut up. But singing is incredibly difficult. Performing and acting is incredibly difficult. And I literally just had like PTSD about thinking about going on stage. Yeah. So I need medicine.
You need medicine or do you need
Xanax?
Both. All three. Please at the same time. That'd be great.
Sounds like a great party.
It does. Sign me up. Where's my invite?
Check, please. Speaking of parties, this next one's kind of a dud, so we're going to throw it to Josh.
Oh, so I got to carry. Okay, cool. Jen, so before we kind of shift gears, because I know they're going to bounce around because they're going to talk a little bit about your fantasy baseball stuff. Give us some, and I asked the same thing to Liz Loza, and she busted out a whole freaking notebook full of people.
Oh boy!
Who are some of your?
Yeah, no pressure.
Joke, honest to God.
Okay.
No pressure, Jen. No pressure.
You want to be like Liz Loza or not, Jen? Is what my question is. Let's hear it, girlfriend.
That's the wrong answer.
I'll never achieve Liz Loza status.
Girl, you are good.
So give us some of your my guys for the 2020 season coming up.
Okay.
Who are some people that you're like, I'm leaving every draft with them. I want every single share of them possible.
So I don't actually have guys that I have in every single draft, but I do have guys I prefer. And one of them is, and you're probably all tired of hearing me talk about this, but I feel like it's especially important to talk about it again today with the news that Miles Sanders is not day to day, but week to week, guys. Yeah. That doesn't sound so great. And the fact is, like, Philly is, maybe they're going to start feeling around Devonta Freeman. I don't know. They doubled down on Miles Sanders being there. I think they believe in Miles Sanders, but the fact is injuries happen. And I was already beginning to wonder why Josh Jacobs was falling so far to the second round. I am taking Josh Jacobs in the second round all day, every day. This kid has the heart of a warrior. He plays through injury. He has come back from he was raised living in the back of a car, sleeping on hotel room floors with his father. His story is so good, and he competes like that. And, Gruden is not the kind of guy that says something and doesn't follow through. And one thing he said is he's going to get the ball in Josh Jacobs' hands. We saw what it did last year. On a PPR per game basis, Josh Jacobs still had more points than Miles Sanders. Now, that's because a lot of those points come from him getting into the end zone. So I think that's going to continue. I think he's also going to get some more catches. I know that there's more mouths to feed in Las Vegas, but Gruden is not happy about the fact that Kyler Murray won Rookie of the Year last year, when, let's be honest, probably belonged to Josh Jacobs. And I think that's what's going to happen. Josh Jacobs is not popular right now for I don't know what reason. And I keep ending up with the 10 spot. And I'm taking at that point Michael Thomas. Because again, Michael Thomas is sitting there at the 10th spot, even in PPR, every time for some reason. I'm taking Josh Jacobs or Austin Eckler every time.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I could not agree with you more. I don't care who argues at me. I don't care. 100% agree. And I got it right this time.
Yes.
Good job, Lauren.
It's whatever you wanted. Your instinct tells you to do the opposite.
That's the story of my life every day.
Yeah.
Or you know what helps, Lauren? Point to your door.
Actually, I'll just point at Ryan. See? I'm literally at my screen. I'm pointing at Ryan, but I'm not.
Unless you want to point at Ryan.
Then you point at Jen.
Oh, good thing up is not down and down. I'm already
no.
That's
down
mind
is
games.
still down.
Yeah.
Doing Tybo over here.
That's mind games. Jen, we did get a question on Periscope, and I do want to bring it up.
Let's do it.
So it's about Larry Fitzgerald, and it comes from IDPDHH. I think I said that correctly.
Dougie, yo.
Where does Larry Fitzgerald finish in redraft? He says he's getting him everywhere. Do you feel that Fitzgerald is someone to, I feel like he's falling pretty low. Do you feel like Fitzgerald is worth the draft pick, maybe late in the game?
If it's really late, sure. Why not? It's all dart throws at that point anyway. We know he's going to be an offense that throws a lot. At that point, if you like Larry Fitzgerald, get Larry Fitzgerald. I don't think you're going to overpay for him at this point. I don't think there's a situation where you're paying too much for Larry Fitzgerald. So if you like him, I'm a fan of if you like a guy, get your guy. If you believe in him, I believed in Darren Waller last year. Paid off for me. I got a lot of Darren Waller, and it paid off for me. So if you like your guy, get your guy. I don't think you're overpaying. What bothers me is when people start, reaching for Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the second or third pick. And yeah, that's happening. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire too, but, that's a little risky to me. But if he's your guy, then do it. Get your guy.
Yeah, Arizona ran by far the most 4 wide receiver sets last year. So Fitzgerald's going to be on the field a lot. I think it's a great dart throw in the late rounds.
I think it's an awful dart throw. He was the wide receiver 35 last year when he was the clear wide receiver 1 on this team. Kirk's going to improve. Hopkins is clearly there. What is your expectation?
Honey, I need some snacks. They're arguing.
Wide receiver 36 isn't even going to get on the field for you. It's just, I don't know. I've been talking people off of that train all off season.
So Ryan, let me throw this out to you, right? Larry Fitzgerald's currently going as wide receiver 68.
Cool.
No? All right, fine. Fine, Ryan. You brought this on yourself. Faith.
Here we go.
Faith, you know what we're going to do? What are we going to do, Faith?
Wait a second. I'm going to guess we're going to play Would You Rather.
Why does everyone get so excited? I love this. Oh, this is great. Jen, I don't know if we played it when you were on the show with Stoner. Okay, so it's the age-old game that was obviously originated on this show called Would You Rather. So I take the ADP of the guy in question. So currently Larry Fitzgerald's going wide receiver 68. So we're imagining right now you are in the final rounds of your draft, PPR, 10, 12, I don't care however many teams. You're imagining this guy is a stash, and you're hoping that his upside is pretty good to where maybe you can play him in your flex spot a couple weeks. All right? So we have Larry Fitzgerald. Would you rather him? And I can't believe I am saying this name because he's being drafted over Larry Fitzgerald at wide receiver 65, Antonio Brown. Josh, starting with you.
Fitzgerald. At minimum, Brown's going to miss 8 weeks because of a suspension. And he's not even on a team yet.
Okay.
I get why people would want him.
There's no need to further explain.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is not Would You Rather and tell
I'll
me
even
why.
concede Larry Fitzgerald in that situation.
Faith, to you.
He's a train wreck. Why would I ever pick him up anywhere?
There we go.
Fitzgerald.
Lauren.
Fitzgerald.
Jen.
Fitzgerald.
That's an easy one. Fantastic.
Yeah,
now we
until they get hard, and I hate this game, but so far I like it.
It's why.
It's why it exists, Lauren.
No.
Okay, wide receiver 66. Alan Lazard or Larry Fitzgerald, Josh?
I'll take Fitz. I don't believe in Lazard at all, so.
I hate you. Faith.
I'm going to go Lazard.
Nice. Ryan.
Lazard.
Lauren.
The Lazard King. But I do love Fitzgerald.
Jen.
Lazard. There's no other. Devontae Adams and who?
Right.
Wide receiver 2s in Green Bay do nothing.
Let's go.
Kind of like you
Let's
on this
go.
podcast.
Just like Larry Fitzgerald in 2020.
That was cold, Faith. That was cold.
Oh. Lazard.
Jen. Dang it. It was so close. It was so close.
Lazard all the way, and I love Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's a top 3 receiver of all time. Lazard all the way. It's not even a question. Okay. This one I think might be a little difficult for some. Paris Campbell at wide receiver 67 or Larry Fitzgerald at 68. Josh.
I'll take Paris Campbell.
Yep. Faith.
Paris.
Ryan.
Paris Campbell.
Lauren.
This one, it gets a little tough for me, but I'll take Paris Campbell.
Jen.
Fitz.
All right.
Okay.
It's the upside, though, right? You're going
Yeah.
with the upside of Paris Campbell as opposed to consistency with Larry Fitzgerald. So I think it would depend on what my roster looks like at that point in a draft. Do I want to take a shot on the upside, like we said, or do I want to go a little bit more consistent? Has he had COVID yet?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Because if he has, give me Fitzgerald all day long, antibodies, that needs to be like a thing, right?
Sure.
You know, hey, so I don't know. I think I'm not asking, I am asking it to be flippant, but it also is quite relevant.
You actually bring up a great point, though, and we almost touched on this last week, and I think I forgot to follow up on the question. Ezekiel Elliott has had COVID. Should we be considering him at the 101?
No.
I know, right, though? It's crazy how this is where our mindset is at. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts.
No,
I would
but it's
consider
true.
him
I
at
mean,
102, but not anything else.
Yeah, I'm taking
I
him
mean,
at
if your guy's going to miss 2 to 3, I mean, like we saw this go on in fantasy baseball drafts. Like Mike Trout's wife was pregnant, and Mike Trout's always the 101, right?
Yep.
No, he started going second, third round because people were afraid he was going to have to leave for protocol. If you miss 2 weeks in a 60-game season, you miss 14 games, even if you're Mike Trout, maybe it's not worth it. So, like, they're very real considerations. I mean, we haven't had a lot of people. We haven't had St. Louis Cardinals, like, on the whole.
Lauren's a Cardinals fan.
I was literally just about to apologize on behalf of the Cardinals. Like, I am sorry they ruined everything for fantasy.
You know what, though? They didn't. Who ruined everything are people like the Cleveland Indians and Mike Clevenger and Zach Plesac, who go around, like, lying about what they were doing and putting a fellow teammate, like someone like Carlos Carrasco, who has cancer, at risk in the rotation with them. Like that, they're the ones that are ruining baseball. If you ask me, the Cardinals might have gone gambling. Actually, they said the hidden camera at the casino says they weren't there, so we don't really know what happened. But hey, you know what? Roster a Cardinal now because they're going to get you a lot of at bats, and you can catch up with everybody else that doesn't have Cardinals.
There you go.
Love you, girl. Told you she was cool. What?
There you go. All right.
Doesn't make the Cardinals any better, Lauren.
So
you know
that's true. So I have two
11
more.
World Series, bro. I know Yankees have more. Whatever.
Congratulations.
But was the last one.
Yeah, so it's weird because the last time they were in the World Series, I'm pretty sure the Red Sox beat them.
Yeah, you guys have had how many last place finishes since then? How many last place finishes?
As many last place finishes as we've had World Series rings this century, Josh.
Yeah,
so.
Josh.
How about this one, Boston?
Series, do you really want to?
Lauren, you're really going to come at Boston for trophies? Are we really going to have this debate right now?
Right?
We're really going to do that.
What about the last one? Wait a minute. That was your argument to me, so I'm just letting you know. By the way, go Bruins. I'm glad they won today.
Let's go. All right, two more. It was because there's one that Ryan brought up that's really good, but I want to get to one more before that. I'm going to skip 69 and 70. I'm going to go to 71. Wide receiver 68, Larry Fitzgerald, or wide receiver 71, Hunter Renfrow. Josh.
Oh.
I love that reaction out of Jen. I love that. Josh, come on. Josh, don't you disappoint me.
I'm going to say, similar to what Lauren said, it depends on the roster structure. I will say I do think Renfrow has a little bit more upside, but the whole, like, they're going to play Ruggs more in the slot really diminishes that value. So I'm going to say Renfrow, but it is close.
Faith.
That is not the spirit of Would You Rather. I don't need a dissertation. Renfrow.
Okay, fantastic. Ryan.
That's not my cat this time.
Yeah, that's my cat.
Someone's cat is unhappy with Josh right now.
She's bitching about something. I don't know what it is.
I have to preface it that
she's been fed, Jen. I don't know what to tell you. She's just walking around in the.
Women only get fussy if they're hungry, guys. That is a myth, by the way.
I mean, I don't.
Want your woman to calm down if you don't. Make sure she's not hungry, because if we're hungry, sorry, whatever.
Oh, it's the first thing I asked.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
We can
read first thing I asked.
I throw potato chips at my wife until she's
just feed her and let her. She'll be fine. If we're hungry, it's your fault.
If we're not at all, it's your fault.
Okay, we're gonna reel this back into the question at hand. All right, can we stop terrorizing my cat? Ryan.
I want to preface my answer with, only in this game am I making this choice. I'm not taking either of these guys, but I'll go Fitzgerald.
Lauren.
This is hard, and this is when I turn to start hating this game.
Yeah.
I hate this game. Fitzgerald, because I like Tyler Murray better than Derek Carr.
Jen?
Renfro.
This is why Jen's on the show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is why we have
She
Jen.
agrees with you?
Yes, because she's smart and agrees with me.
She's
Hunter Renfro all day, every day. This is unreal. I
Your
love
cat
Hunter Renfro.
doesn't even agree with you.
Yes, she does.
Really? Didn't sound like it.
Yeah,
I didn't
like
say
she was
anything.
yelling at me because I chose Renfro.
It did
No.
actually.
And then the last one that Ryan brought up that is a really good one. At wide receiver 84, he is essentially free. Would you rather have Larry Fitzgerald or Steven Sims Jr.? Josh.
I'm going to take Fitz. I'm not buying the Sims hype train. He only played last year because Trey Quinn was out. So,
My boy Trey Quinn. Faith. Oh. Faith has the devil emoji now.
Oh!
So who is that Faith? I don't know what that means.
Nobody.
Nobody. Okay. Well, you have to pick one. It's not the spirit of the game, Faith.
That's the spirit of the game.
Yeah, but this is women of fantasy football, not you three of fantasy
Okay.
football. I do what I
That's
want.
fair. That's fair. Ryan.
She makes her own rules.
Sims.
Always.
Sims should be everybody's last pick of their fantasy draft, and you can thank me after the season.
Wow, he'll drop his name on that one. Lauren.
That's a
Yeah, this is for you. This is all for you, Ryan. All for you. Really? Give me Fitzgerald, bro. Come on, man. Go ahead and take him next round in our draft. Let's go.
And Jen.
Yeah, this is a really tough one because I understand the dart throw with Sims, but I would go Fitz.
What do you want as your last pick in the draft? Upside. If Steven Sims doesn't have upside branded across his helmet, then I don't know who does.
I don't
Wide
think he
receiver
does. It
2 and
probably
one of
just
the
his
worst
number.
offenses.
Why? So what you're telling me is they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're going to have to throw the football. That's all I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing.
He was the wide receiver 15 over the last 5 games, the wide receiver 7 over the last 3.
Ooh.
I mean, it's definitely a dart throw. I would
I'll-
go consistent there.
I will take a dart throw in the 18th round of the draft.
Oh, sure.
Steven Sims, and again, love Fitzgerald. Steven Sims, I think, is a really good dart throw. I'm on the same. I'm not going to put my name on it that Steven Sims is going to be like a league saver, like really late in drafts, but I will agree with Ryan to some extent to where I'm a big fan of Sims.
Yeah, to
And
me, Steven Sims is a DFS play, more of a DFS play than a
That's a good
seasonal
one.
roster.
Yeah,
So
she's the best. And then, all right, so since I guess I'll go with my question here since we're just kind of backing off the mic here. So I told Jen, I told you about this, that I was going to ask you this question before we hopped on. I want to talk about sportsmanship and the unwritten rules of sports in general. All right, specifically baseball and the 80-year-olds that have their panties in a wad because someone didn't respect the game. So I'd like to know, and if people listening haven't seen Jen's original rant on this, please check this out. But what are your thoughts on Fernando Tatis Jr., arguably one of the best young talents, if not the best young talent in the major leagues right now, taking a 3-0 pitch yard while being up 10-3 in the 8th inning? Should he or should he have not done that because of the unwritten rules of baseball? Jen.
okay. So first of all, if your coach tells you not to swing at something, you probably shouldn't. However, he says he wasn't paying attention to the coach, which I believe he was locked in. We have a problem with the culture of baseball, and that is that people find it boring. They find it slow. There's no one exciting playing. NFL, everyone loves NFL. You know why? Because they're heroes. They're superheroes. They do dramatic things. They get dirty. They get in there. And the game is against a clock. There is no clock in baseball. And because there is no clock in baseball, a 7-run lead is not enough, ever. If you're standing at the plate and you're a winner and you want your team to win and the bases are loaded and someone throws a pitch right down Broadway, do you even want a player on your team that can't slug that thing and slam it out of the park? No. And do we want to tell them not to do it? Because what I want to watch is Fernando Tatis making highlight reel plays in the outfield and making grand slams. I want winners. I don't want this soft, like, oh, that's not nice though. Well, you know what? Then pitch better, Rangers. Don't load the bases in the first place. This is what you do. Then play better. And if you don't play better, nobody wants to watch. Nobody wants to watch a game with unwritten rules they don't understand. And they're like, hey, this is a great guy. And he stood there and watched a pitch go by. What a loser. I'm bored. Click. You're done. We need people like Fernando Tatis in this industry. And the very next day, when they were up by 6, the guy steals third. And you know what? More power to you. Burn the book. Burn these unwritten rules nobody else knows about, because if we don't bring something back to this game after this COVID, after this juice ball era, all of this stuff, the game will die. We need players like Fernando Tatis Jr. who are out there making the game fun again. We want winners.
Preach.
Yes. And that's what I was gonna say. If you don't want somebody swinging when you're up 10-3, then don't give him a good pitch. Like, at what
it's not rocket science.
It's really not. Like,
I mean, the idea is that it's a test pitch to make sure that the umpire is calling right, but you still don't make it exactly right down front. Yeah. You can test on the edges. Figure something out.
All of these kids who got participation trophies, now
That's
it's
exactly
like
what it is. It's exactly like giving a participation trophy. Well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, no, you know what? It is fair. You know what?
Professional
Sports. Better at baseball than you.
I'm going to step in though.
Competition.
I'm going to step in though. It's not the kids crying about this. It's
no, it's not.
The old guys.
It is. Correct.
And that really
the
upsets
80-year-olds
me too.
with their panties in a wad.
Because first of all, the Rangers manager, sour grapes, whatever. But the Padres manager not backing his player and then getting his player on TV to apologize. You want to put a good face on baseball?
Yes.
Don't have your exciting young players apologize for being winners. No, don't do it. Unbelievable.
I mean, and the thing too is, if Tatis flied out to center, like if that ball was 20 feet shorter, no one would care. Not a single living soul. They would be saying, why are you swinging at a 3-0 pitch? Is what they would be saying, is like, you have the bases loaded, why are you swinging at a 3-0 pitch? You always take the 3-0 pitch. But if you want to say that you're going to take the most exciting thing away from baseball because there's an unwritten rule saying that you shouldn't swing on a 3-0 pitch up that amount of runs, the only reason people watch baseball, especially the younger demographic that doesn't even watch baseball anymore, the only reason it's there is for web gems, which don't happen very often, and home runs, which happen more often than not, and especially a 400-foot home run that Tatis just hit. The guy is 21 years old. He has accomplished more in the past 48 hours of living than most people have. He has literally ripped up an entire book that baseball has built over the last 150 years and said F you to the entire league. Oh my God. I love it. Like when people have their panties in a wad because Jose Bautista bat flipped after knocking a home run that pushed them into the next round. Are you kidding me? I would be amped. Like, that's essentially like, I don't know, a hockey playoffs are going on right now. A hockey player, knocks in a slap shot in overtime in Game 7 to send you to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they flip out, throw their gloves, celebrate with their team. It's the exact same thing. Baseball players can't celebrate with their team till they make it to home plate. Mm-hmm. I wish Bautista threw that thing into the stands. Like, the unwritten rules need to go. It's stupid. If it's not written in the book, I don't care about it. Do whatever the hell you want. Doesn't matter to me. Thank you, Jen. That was amazing. That was incredible. Because it was funny because I'm in Dallas and I was listening to Rangers radio today, and they had the same tune you did. Obviously not as, I don't want to say explicit because it wasn't explicit, but not as like upfront because obviously they're the Rangers station. They can't exactly go all in, but they were calling out the manager like, hey, just suck it up. Like, don't, like exactly what you said. Don't give him a meatball pitch right down the middle. That's just stupid. Like, don't give him a meatball. He's that good. Walk him. Who cares? You're down 10-3. Right. Your team is garbage. You're not going to come back. So,
and on his end, he could have grounded into a double play. Like,
exactly.
Anything could have happened. So it's a learning situation for everyone, and everyone should learn and just be like, you know what? Just be better. How about that? How about we just take lessons in life, guys, and just learn and just take, instead of whining about it, just be better.
Yes.
The point of the game is to hit the ball, is to round the bases, is to score more runs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It should never be a, well, do this, except for in this case. But, so, speaking of debates and all of this fun stuff, our cornermen.
There you go.
You got it.
No, you had it.
There we
Good.
go.
There you
There
go.
we go. Have recently taken to clubfantasyffl.com to debate and counter each other on the merits of tight ends, whether you take them high or Stream Master General, you stream them. So, Ryan.
Faith might as well have finished the question. So it's really just, and I think you've kind of already.
We have to put you on the spot to be like,
I thought she was going. Yeah,
P's and Q's, bro.
but I
Let's
think you kind
go.
of already touched on this because you said you're smashing Josh Jacobs in the second round any single chance that you get. Right now, to get a guy like Travis Kelce, George Kittle, you have to take them in the second round, and they're not falling to the third right now in drafts at all. Are you on board with taking a tight end that early? Do you think it's better to grab a mid-round guy, or you wait till the very end and stream the position if you have to?
It depends completely on my draft position. I am not against it. I took Kittle in the second or third round last year. I can't remember. And in order to create separation at that position. And you still can get Mark Andrews in the third round of a lot of drafts I'm doing. And I feel like, he's Lamar's number one receiver. Come on. Like, hello. And you create separation at a position. So why not? Yes. I've done that a few times, but it just depends. So like today in the SiriusXM host draft, I waited. I got Gesicki and Jack Doyle. Huh? Yeah. Yes, please. Late. Two of them. Why not? Those are two great, these guys are going to be good. I really believe they're going to. So in that case, in a half-point PPR, where I was at the 6th spot, I didn't have an option really to get tight end there. Kelce was gone. Like it doesn't make sense. So I think it just completely depends. I think you either do one of two things: is you get the elite guy and you wait, or you just kind of wait later and you still got Hayden Hurst available, got Mike Gesicki, we got Jack Doyle. There's a lot of potential down there.
Blake Jarwin.
Jarwin, I'm not so big on. I'm not a Cowboys fan, so that's not. But like Evan Ingram, even sometimes falling, and it just depends on like your league. Now, if you're a tight end premium league, in that case, all it does is, and this is something people don't really understand, is it just elevates the top people even further. It doesn't really help out all the middle people, you know. So you just decide if you want to play into that point system or not.
I think it's interesting because if you look at the back half of essentially the top 12 last year in tight ends, you're saying names like Jared Cook, Tyler Higbee, Hunter Henry, Dallas Goedert, Jason Witten, and Mike Gesicki. I'm going to go out on a limb and say a lot of those guys weren't taken before the 8th or 9th round last year. Yeah. So you look at that and say, okay, your top 6 are sitting Kelce, Waller, Kittle, Ertz, Mark Andrews, Austin Hooper. I think last year, I don't really think there was much discretion, especially between the top 5. Maybe Austin Hooper would have been higher or lower for some people. But you look at it and say, I mean, there is a really good case to be made to where you should wait because you can get a guy, like you said, Mike Gesicki. Like, do you know what round you got Gesicki in?
I think it was 11th. I can go back and look.
Well, that's why I want to jump in is Waller was that guy last year. Waller
and I got Waller in the 11th last year. And
same with Mark Andrews for me. I got him in the 12th round in a draft where I already had George Kittle. So I had Mark Andrews and George Kittle. Another name I want to throw out, Chris Herndon. No one is talking about Chris Herndon.
Yes.
I love him. Love. Absolutely love.
I feel like Josh
I just see Ryan's face.
The only issue to me with Chris Herndon is just Adam Gase. Are we going to go to the Adam Gase route? Because that's the only thing. As far as talent, like all the way, and as far as the late rounds, I mean, this guy's got the talent.
Jenna,
I'm with you on that one, Jen. I love Chris Herndon from a talent perspective. I'm a huge Miami Hurricanes fan. Herndon went there. I'm all about it. Adam Gase just ruins careers, and I want nothing to do with it.
Adam Gase just ruins everything.
Yeah, if there's one thing we love doing on this show, it's hating on Adam Gase collectively as a group. That's definitely one thing. Like, all right. So since we're on Gase, like, how do you feel about Prashad Perryman? Because I felt a lot of people thought he had some decent value, like wherever he might go, just based off of what he did the last few weeks of the year in 2019. But he falls in New York. where, yeah, he probably is going to be the number one option, potentially, maybe Jamison Crowder, but he's going to be 1 or 2 regardless. Do you feel comfortable taking Perriman later in drafts, or no, just because he's with the Jets and with Adam Gase?
Yeah, no, I still feel comfortable taking Prashad Perryman later in drafts. Again, it's all about value. You know, I'm not going out targeting Prashad Perryman, but I think Crowder's going to be the number one guy. He likes his slot receiver. That's kind of how he plays it. But Prashad Perryman has never had the chance to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
And I think he could be successful. The person I'm most worried about there is Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. They obviously don't get along. And speaking of Le'Veon Bell, I totally, in the house draft today, decided to be a little ridiculous or funny and took Frank Gore, hoping he's going to poach some touchdowns.
Nice.
And since we had the Frank Gore jersey up today, I thought it was a sign. And I can always drop him and fill him in later. But, we're going to just give a little Gore love because of our jersey. And you guys got in the raffle.
I love it. I love it.
You know Frank Gore is going to rip off 2 100-yard games this year. He's going to do it because he's Frank Gore. He's Frank Gore.
It'll be random.
I think I saw a stat today that the last time Gase and Gore were together, Gore was getting, I want to say 16 touches a game or something like that.
It's that was so screwed.
Yeah, it was 45 years ago, too, which is, there's that.
Yeah, Grandpa Gore.
No, Miami was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time. Okay?
I mean, I will grant you that it does feel like it was an eternity ago with how this year has been dragging on.
And that's Gore years. So in Gore years,
I love it. Yeah, it's Gore years. I'm sorry, Ryan, if I just totally ruined your tight end debate question, but I had to jump in.
Oh, you ruined it when you brought up. You ruined it when you brought up Chris Herndon.
Don't you argue with me about you're my guy, Mr. Reese. Okay,
send you to your room, Ryan.
Trash.
She will.
Don't you even stop.
Since we're talking about drafts and where we're taking people, I have a question for you, Jen.
Yeah.
Going back, we're not going to talk about football. If you had to take the 101 pick in a Broadway show draft, which performance, which show are you taking?
Ooh.
All time.
Les Miserables.
Wow. Okay.
Solid.
Nicely done.
Solid.
Yeah. It's
So
Les Miserables.
Are we going to go around the room with these picks after Jen talks about it? Because I have a 101.
All right, Lauren, go.
Oh, goody.
I do. It was at the Fox Theater in St. Louis. I saw it. Wicked. Blew my mind. Wicked blew my mind.
Maggie would love you for that.
I didn't think it. I went and I was like, I love the Wizard of Oz story. How much can they really put in this backstory? I didn't know, but I saw it and I was in love. Wicked is going to be.
I love the Fox Theater in St. Louis.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Theater. It's so good. And true story, really cool. I got to see original cast Wicked on Broadway. Kristen Chin with Anna Dina Menzel.
Wow.
This is pretty special.
So awesome.
Yeah. My
mom used to take me to the Fox Theater every year for Christmas, and we would watch the Nutcracker ballet.
Yeah.
And then we would stay over at Union Station and go Christmas shopping. And every year I'd get a ballerina ornament.
Do you ever go
on the Christmas tree at Fox Theater? Yes. Oh my God, I saw the cast at the Muni.
So I performed at the Muni.
Oh my
God.
Lauren's freaking out.
There.
We just Lauren.
John O'Hurley. You know who John O'Hurley is, guys? He's the guy that played
Jay Peterman.
Yeah. So I did Hello Dolly there with him and Beth Level, and it was really special. I loved it.
What year?
Yeah, in St. Louis.
What year?
4 years ago.
Okay, then
2016.
That I didn't see it because we saw that. I saw that when I was younger. Oh gosh, not even younger. I say that like I'm an old lady, but back when I lived in St. Louis, I think it was maybe like 10 years ago now. I did see Hello Dolly there. I mean, they have the staples there, but the first ever show I saw at the Muni was Cats, which I love, which I also went to go see later at the Fox Theater. Plus, I love Cats too, so there's that. But yeah, what Ryan? These guys are like, oh my God, I hate you people.
Ryan is like, oh, are you taking
Reese? So I've never seen any of these live. But
that's okay.
I became immediately obsessed with Hamilton. Downloaded the soundtrack.
Yep.
Can sing just about every song at this point. So.
Yes. Who is the handcuff for Dalvin Cook? Alexander Madison.
There you go.
Yes.
I'll never not sing that.
And I have become obsessed with everything about Daveed Diggs, who plays Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson.
Have you seen Central Park?
Yes.
You have Apple TV. It's so good.
I've also seen Hamilton twice, know the stage manager, got to do the whole backstage tour, know some of the cast members. It is just an incredible, one of my friends is the assistant music director. It is an incredible, it's very similar to Les Mis. It's like the modern rap version of Les Mis. Completely like lyric driven, brilliant. You have to listen to it like 100 times to even get all the things that are in it. It's genius.
Jen, you were up 10-3. Did you really just need to hit that grand slam?
Yeah, I took the stage tour of Hamilton.
Next.
Okay.
Get it. So, Josh or Joe, do you have a 101?
Go ahead, Josh. I'll go last.
I can't even remember the last time I saw a play. I think the last time I saw one was with this girl that I dated down in Fort Myers, and we saw Pirates of Penzance, and that was a good.
Are you serious about it? Then you saw me. Did you go
Fort Myers?
It was
really?
me. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
No. Unless it was a local production. Was it a touring production from New York, or was it a local
it was
production?
at what
was
used
it
to
at
be
Broadway
Edison
Paul?
College, I believe.
It was at Barbara B. Mann.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
pretty
it
sure
was.
that was
Barbara
our
B.
touring,
Barbara B. Mann.
I'm pretty sure that was us.
Holy
That's
crap!
amazing.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
I've done
Girl,
Pirates of
after all.
Penzance 1
So sorry,
million
Joe.
times.
Sorry, Joe. You should have gone before.
Yeah, no, yeah. Wow.
That is so cool, though.
I should have.
Small world. I love it.
Okay,
I
Joe,
think you
you're
did.
up.
All right, so I've never seen a Broadway show. The only show I've seen in New York is Stomp, which I really
That's cool.
enjoyed. The only really theater show I've seen is the Nutcracker when I was really younger from the Boston Ballet, which was really good. But I'm with Ryan. Hamilton's unreal. I dedicated myself to learning Daveed Diggs' rap on Guns and Ships,
Yes.
and
The
I
best song on that
have
soundtrack.
about 90% of it down. So
Wow.
Let's
I'm not
hear
doing it right now. My voice is awful. First off,
Well, we know this, but that's why we still invite you on because we
thank
sound
you.
better.
Thank you. My voice sounds good hosting and other things, not singing. The singing voice is terrible. But yeah, Hamilton is I don't think it's like, I feel like a lot of people had it as like the next greatest thing and like, it's crazy. I'm like, it's really damn good. And I'm just thoroughly impressed that there was like 0 lines of dialogue and it was all singing. That was the thing that blew me away, is that for like 2.5 hours, they just sang. And I was like, that's impressive.
To me, I think that actually is one thing that musicals get wrong, because like Les Mis completely sung through. Same thing. If you've never seen Les Mis, try to see it. It's amazing. Phantom of the Opera, same thing, completely sung through. And these are like eternal like classics. Miss Saigon, same thing. These are things everybody pretty much likes. I think the problem with musicals is actually when you stop and talk and then you sing, it makes them like cheesy. Like, who believes that? Who believes you just spontaneously burst into song and dance? But if you start out singing and then like, okay, so in this world we always sing or we always rap, then you can get lost in it. And I think that's where a lot of musicals go wrong. So really like just doing a modern version of an opera kind of works. And that's what Hamilton is. It's a freaking opera. It's brilliant.
It's beautiful.
It's a rap opera.
Yeah.
So as soon as we brought up Idina Menzel and then randomly bursting into song, do you know what is stuck in my head all of the dang time? Is Idina Menzel singing that stupid Geico commercial about Tara.
That's funny.
Tara, look at her go with a fresh cup of Joe. I'm like, no!
I know. It makes me so angry.
And I sing it in my sleep.
I know.
It's not okay.
I'm like, stop, Idina, just stop.
I'm so happy I don't have cable. I have no idea what that is.
Do I get to answer now, Lauren?
Taxidermy. Yes. I'm sorry, Faith. Go, my girl.
I mean, I expected from one of the dudes, but not you.
I know. I couldn't help it. I was overwhelmed. I was overcome.
He's so verklempt. So I have seen one Broadway show in my lifetime. It was Aladdin. It was amazing. So good. The stage set on the show was fantastic. But my 101 would be West Side Story.
Oh, that is
Good call,
probably top
Faith.
3 for me.
It's
probably number 2 for me.
I was first introduced to it in 5th grade, but I later learned that my grandfather was obsessed with that musical and had the soundtrack on vinyl.
Wow.
That's awesome.
To be fair, guys, the West Side Story movie is actually far better than the stage production most of the time. They just can't seem to get it right. The movie's actually nearly perfect. So if you haven't seen it, you can rent the movie, and it's still good.
I've only seen the movie. I haven't seen West Side Story production live, so no, I won't.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, don't. I wouldn't. I mean, movies.
A lot of times there's a struggle between if you see a movie of a Broadway show before seeing the actual Broadway show, you get used to how the movie goes and the way the songs flow and where they're put at in sequence. But then the Broadway show is usually different because they can't do the same thing on a Broadway stage that they can do in a movie over more days. So it always just throws me off when I see that.
There are shows though, if you saw the movie, you'd think they were bad musicals, but if you saw the stage version, they're better. It's like, just kind of like, but West Side Story and Grease, the films are better.
Yeah. But Aladdin was done really well on stage.
Yeah.
So I do want to bring up some of the listeners' favorites here since we're talking about the 101. Good. Shane Manila on YouTube says Rent.
It's another great one.
No day like today.
Yeah.
525,600 minutes.
There you go. Tommy Garrett has never seen a Broadway show, so he has a lot of studying to do.
Hey, Tommy G, you can go get Disney Plus and start with Hamilton.
Yes, very true. One of our writers who contributes, Chris Molina, says he's been to one, and that's Phantom of the Opera.
And that isn't. I have seen that probably about 34 times, including in Germany.
Wow.
I have been to the Paris Opera House and seen Box 5.
That's a beautiful
That's
opera
cool.
house.
It's gorgeous.
Envision FF says the only show he's ever seen was Miss Saigon at the Forest Theater in Philadelphia.
It's a good one. That was a good
one. Maggie, my girlfriend and graphic designer of Club Fantasy. One of the women of fantasy football. Her favorite is Wicked, which I know has already been said. She's a big fan of Wicked. And just to, I guess, cap this all off, our friend of the show, John Helmkamp, Dynasty Bear, said, "Holy shit, Jen's voice." So,
did he find an audio of me somewhere?
You just
when you sang the Alexander Madison.
That's all it took. Oh, that's all it took.
She forgot.
It just comes so naturally to her.
And we have one more from Kevin on YouTube. He says he's seen a couple, but he thinks Rock of Ages is a fun one.
Oh, Rock of Ages is very fun. That's a very fun one. It's a different kind of show. It's more like you're drinking and having a show, but it's super fun.
So I have one for you. I used to be in high school theater because I'm so very professional.
Wow.
And I did Taming of the Shrew. And I was actually one of the male suitors because I went to an all-girls school. So we had to recruit boys from other schools and we didn't have enough. So I was the male suitor. And that was probably the most fun I've ever had was actually playing a dude, courting one of my friends on stage. So I know we have Les Miserables, you're 101 of draft.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite role that you've ever played?
Whoa. That is such a good question. It's probably Pirates of Penzance, or it could be actually Yum Yum in the Mikado. I really liked that role.
That's a great name.
Yeah, her name is Yum Yum.
Yum Yum.
And she's the soprano.
Never do that again, Joe.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. It's funny. It is actually funny. So I would say that, or actually I really enjoy playing Fiona in Brigadoon. That's a good one. So yeah, I've done a lot of weird stuff, you guys.
I just said I played a dude.
Well, so did I. I played the king in the Sleeping Beauty ballet.
Ooh.
I was like, you know what? At that point, I wasn't the best. I was a good ballet dancer, but I wasn't a great ballet dancer. And the girls that were were a little better than me. And so in order for me to have a principal role in the ballet, I had to take a guy's part. And I said, give it to me. I just want to dance. So
I once played a horse
fist bump
in a play.
Yes, I got the direction right.
Atta girl, Lauren.
I like how we're ending on Jen talking about ballet.
Yeah, this has been amazing.
Yes.
This has
really
been
cool
amazing.
segue.
Yeah, if you guys need fantasy football advice, you can tweet me because we probably didn't.
And fantasy
I probably
baseball.
didn't say anything.
And baseball.
We're here to celebrate ribbon in fantasy football, then also do other things that contribute
Awesome.
to how we can do better in life and also with fantasy football because it takes competition, it takes hard work, and that's ballet, that's acting, that's theater, that's sports, that's anything. So we celebrate all facets of what people do.
I love it.
Day-to-day lives. So for sure, go get it.
Heck
And
yeah.
sometimes if you're staring at on a 3-0 pitch and you're up 10-3, you just gotta swing.
Swing
Just
away,
gotta
baby.
swing.
Swing
Get
away.
it done.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jen.
You're welcome,
Yes,
Jen,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, you too.
Congrats on your podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, congrats.
All right. Faith.
All right, that's me.
Well, let's.
Oh wait,
let's
that's not it. Just messing with you.
I didn't say anything. Rude.
Oh, you're frozen. Oh, I got
She's
it.
back. She's back. All right, Faith, would you like to
Maybe it was
announce
just
our
me.
second raffle item winner before we bring in our next guest really quick?
I certainly could. I just feel like I'm going to thoroughly demolish this name.
You got this. We know him,
can,
so it's
I
okay.
can pronounce it if it helps, Faith.
No, Faith, take a crack.
But
I want
you're
you
not-
to take a crack
but
at
you're
it.
not
I
announcing
would
it.
just like to
Doesn't
say
help.
for the what are you going to mansplain how to say his name to me?
I mean, it's been his best buddy for a while now, so
Well, if I
Bitch.
get it wrong, I'll just blame Josh.
yes,
Sounds good.
nailed it.
Sounds good.
All right, Faith, who is the winner of the 6-month Rotoviz subscription?
The winner of the 6-month Rotoviz subscription is Cole. I'm going to go with Hoopengarner.
Oh, you nailed it!
Hey, all right.
Nice.
Nice.
Congrats, Cole.
Yes.
Big time win there
Nailed it.
for the Florida State fan. You lose out on the Cam Akers signed football, but you win the Rotoviz sub, and that's what counts. All right. Last hour, Faith, Lauren, who's up next?
Lauren, take it away, babe.
Oh, you guys. Okay, so far we've covered women in fantasy football, but that doesn't mean that we just talk about women in fantasy football, because there are women in sports all around. Like Jen was fantasy sports in general. So you guys, we have Lindsey, and I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, because I always want to say Lindsey Ok,
That's it.
right? I
Yeah.
do it all the time. I'm like, Lindsey, okay? And it just goes right off the tongue. Like, I need that to be my name, like Lauren, okay?
It's not
You know?
actually.
I know, but it sounds, I love it. I love it.
No.
Lindsey, welcome to the show. Tell people where they can
Welcome.
find you and what you do. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is really fun. I feel like I'm at like a happy hour that I haven't been to in like 4 months.
Yes.
Cheers,
Yes, get it,
Lindsey.
girl. What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
I have a little wine here,
Oh, get it, girl. Oh, is that a Chardonnay?
Or is that a
it's
Pinot
a
Grigio?
Oh, Sauvignon
Oh.
Blanc, like it. Not too
Sauvignon
sweet. Not too
Yeah.
sweet. Little on the dry side. Well done. Well played.
Up a little bit, But anyway, I'm Lindsey. I am it's kind of hard to figure out what I call myself because I do like, so many things. But I talk about sports for fun and for my work. And I do everything from blogging to doing this, analyst stuff, whatever, I do it pretty much. So, yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, we're not here just to talk about fantasy. So, Baltimore Ravens Wire, is that still something that you are crushing? And where is it that they can find you? Do you have a website? Where's your stuff?
So I went from covering the Ravens for Ravens Wire, and then currently I do the whole NFL right now. So you can find me on lindseyok.com. I do it myself. It's Lindsey Ok on Twitter, Instagram, everything. So that's what I'm doing right now. And it
Follow her on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please
Honestly,
do
I
yourself
asked-
a favor.
Yeah, I asked Ryan to reach out because he has so many more followers than I do, so I figured he'd probably be able to get through the cracks. But I'm such a huge fan of your Twitter. It is so
thank
much fun.
Lindsey,
Just
can you
watching
do me a
like-
favor? Stop, Josh, for a second. Can you do me a favor
Or
and
for
reach
all of
up
the
and just
seconds.
virtually smack Josh in up ahead of you? This boy, I tell you what, this is for you, Josh, right here.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Reach out for me. I'm scared.
I'm scared. I don't take myself that seriously. And I answer my DMs for the most part, the ones that aren't weird and creepy.
See, now I know that.
They're out there.
No, and I would never
To
send you
me-
anything creepy. That's just weird.
Josh,
I
a lot
I
of
bet
things
if I
you
had
say
my
are just
mustache
weird and
picture up,
creepy.
she wouldn't have.
Okay, to be fair though, your mustache does have it says things about
It does. And we
Like, if
won't
we didn't
say
know
those
you.
things.
Yeah, like if I didn't know
don't
you,
leave your kids alone with this guy.
Exactly. If he offers you candy, run away.
and you're broadcasting from your pantry, bro.
Right?
I mean, come
With
on.
children's toys
Board
behind
games,
you.
fireplace.
It's true.
Not a pantry.
I actually did notice the brick on the fireplace this time, but I'm just saying your mustache does have a little bit of a mind of its own. I'm just, that used to have its own Twitter follow right there.
I think it exudes
I'm sorry, Lindsay.
confidence.
We're not normally this weird.
Stash.
Yeah. But
At the Fantasy 5 stash.
Off the
Yes.
rails. Already.
Off the rails.
Fantasy
Welcome.
We were never on the rails.
I know, it's true.
yeah.
Okay, so retired Faith, actually you were the one bringing this up because we just got done with theater and talking about how amazing that is. Go ahead.
So we just got done talking to Jen, who has performed Broadway adjacent, as she called it. At she also mentioned that she did some ballet. She wasn't a great ballet dancer, and a little birdie told us that you have also done some ballet.
That's true. My mom was actually a dance teacher, and I have basically done it since I was 2 years old. So I don't really do it anymore. It's something that, my knees can't deal with anymore, honestly. But if I could still do it, I would, but I can't. I do like yoga and stuff like that. And it's not as, intrusive on my legs, but it's still kind of like, I tell myself it's almost like the same thing anyway. So
It is almost like the same thing, for sure.
Yeah. Well, last I checked,
What's
like
that?
feet aren't supposed to do like this.
Yeah.
I can't even get my hands to do that. But it's so interesting. I mean, we all come from different backgrounds. We all do lots of different things. But it's when you say like, I'm a retired ballerina and I talk about football. It's like, wait, what? That's crazy. So how does one go from, ballet and in the world of dance to, and not to be mistaken for NBC's world of dance, not what I mean, but from the dancing environment and that mojo, what actually got you into sports so much that you wanted to, have this as your job, as your career, and as your focus?
So I didn't actually ever want to do this. Like, it was never like, I didn't grow up wanting to be like a sideline reporter or anything like that. Like, it was never, I hated writing. I hated English class. I hated writing papers. Not something I ever wanted to do. And then I actually interned for Ed Reed a couple years ago. Awesome. And that was kind of like what got me started in this. I just met so many cool people. I met like everybody from like media people to people behind the scenes for the team, to players, to big name like media people. And just, it kind of like really piqued my interest. And I really started like networking and getting really active on Twitter. And that's just kind of what did it for me. I kind of like fell into my lap. And I did like a Ravens podcast a couple years ago. I did Ravens Wire. But I just kind of had a problem, not really a problem. I don't want to like start anything. But I didn't like having the idea of like people ahead of me or higher up than me telling me what to say and telling me what not to say. So that was just something that I knew that if I wanted to do this, I wanted to do this so that I would have control of my own content and say what I want. And I do that now, and that's amazing to me. So
do you also have Mind Reader on your resume? Because I was literally just about to ask. So I love blogging as well. I love to write. I'm an avid, I don't want to say, I say journalist because I have a Bachelor of Journalism, but journalist is I write in my journal every day journalist, not like that's what I mean. But I mean, there's a big difference between going from having to, report to somebody and they're breaking down every single thing that you say, as opposed to having basically an opinion piece in your blog. So I was just going to ask, what has been your favorite part of this transition to your own brand, to your own website? And what would you want to say to other people who maybe want to do the same thing?
I'll start with the second question first. Just do it. And there's nothing wrong with like getting your foot in the door and going to write for a fan site that doesn't pay you, or there's nothing wrong with starting your own, blog on WordPress and just going that route. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to do it. And like, as long as you find something you're good at, as long as you know what you're talking about and don't pretend like I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about like the Panthers, because I don't, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know, like I don't really talk about the draft that much. I don't really talk about college football that much because I don't watch it. And I'm not going to pretend like I do. I'm not going to sit here and say that X player is going to be the best we've ever seen him because I've never watched him play before, So I feel like that's kind of something that a lot of people struggle with because they feel like they have to know everything. And you don't have to know everything. You just have to talk about what you're good at talking about, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how refreshing. Because
it really is.
Like, people are like, which rookie do you love? I'm like, I don't care about rookies.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, being in control of my own content. Like, I found like writing for other people, not only were my page views and my tweets and everything, they weren't making money for me, they were making money for you. But like, I was also like, I would find myself being like, I really don't want to write about how this random Ravens guard like only had his name called one time. Like, that doesn't interest me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to write about that, so I choose to write about what I want to now, and it's awesome.
That's fantastic. So I know that Ryan has a question, but before I throw it to him, I just want to say that I thoroughly enjoy your gallery wall behind you and your pillow.
God, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's
nice.
Awesome.
That is.
I'm sorry. Wait a second. Brief pause. Is that in sync?
That's in sync, and that's.
Oh, hell yeah.
Jesus. Right here.
I'm not frozen. I'm just sitting here, mouth ajar. Like,
So
it totally looked like my screen was frozen. It's not.
That is amazing.
I want to follow up. Are you a big Justin Timberlake fan then?
I
Okay.
Dude,
All right.
who isn't, Joe? Come on.
Hold on.
We all love Justin Timberlake.
There's casual JT fans, and then there's Justin Timberlake fans. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I had when I was like 11. Okay. I had this pair of jeans that I spent an entire weekend making before the NSYNC concert. I think it was like No Strings Attached. But I literally sat there with glue and glitter and wrote his name all over my jeans.
I love that.
And wore it to the concert.
I'm just jealous that you went to an NSYNC concert.
Oh my God. God bless my parents. But they took me to literally every time they came. They every year.
That's awesome.
Amazing. I feel like I just want to talk about NSYNC. I know they have football related questions, but I don't really care about them.
I'm still on the JT thing. I want to follow up here on Timberlake because I'm a big Justin Timberlake fan. I saw him with Jay-Z at their stadium tour. He was incredible. I want to know, we did the 101 of Broadway shows.
Yes, Joe, I'm here for
what is your, I know this is, we'll just say, what's your number one Justin Timberlake song? And I know that is a loaded question because his music is very vast in what he has. But what would you say is your favorite Justin Timberlake song?
People ask me this all the time, and I honestly do not have an answer. Like, it's I don't know.
It's a 10-way tie. Is that it?
Okay, like, I really like this. I really like Mirrors. It's up there. You can't not like
that song.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I give. I give my answer. I don't have one.
All right, that's fair. I mean, everyone else, apparently everyone's a Justin Timberlake fan, Josh. So, Josh, what's yours?
If we're going just Justin Timberlake,
yes,
I'm a huge fan of "Sexy Back." Just that song
of course
in general,
you are.
Which is great.
Of course,
but like if we're including the NSYNC library too, I have to take "Bye Bye Bye" because I will say I actually knew that whole dance video in high school. So
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you prove that later.
Yes, Faith, to you.
I said used to know it, Faith.
Nothing a little YouTube video can't brush up on.
A little refresher.
I know little bits and pieces of the dance now, but not the whole thing.
So if we're going NSYNC library, I'm a big fan of Dirty Pop. I'm a big fan of the Celebrity album, but Justin Timberlake himself, Cry Me a River. That whole like intro, outro musical set, I'm here for it. It gets me hype every time.
Ryan?
I was also going to say Cry Me a River, but I'm also
Yes!
I really only listen to rap and hip hop, so Timberland produced that, so that's why that's a great song. And then Suit and Tie with Jay-Z is also fantastic.
Yes,
Another
that's
good one. All right. So I have a couple that aren't mainstream, but they're off the 2020 experience because I think that's by far his best combined albums.
Mm-hmm.
From the first one, That Girl is a very good song.
Mm-hmm.
And then off the second one, Drink You Away.
Yes.
Drink You Away is a high quality one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Didn't he duet that with Chris Stapleton? It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
It was
amazing.
Oh, Justin Timberlake.
One more thing about Justin Timberlake before we move on.
Go ahead.
I actually saw him at this place called the 930 Club in DC like years ago, and it's this small I haven't been there in so long, so I can't really estimate how many people can fit in there, but it's not many. And I saw him there like just acoustic guitar, piano, no dancers. It was, tickets were like up there, but it was the best show I've ever been to. It was so amazing.
That's awesome.
That's amazing the whole time, but
Oh, I love that. Faith, back to you.
Back to me. So I guess we're unfortunately done talking about Justin Timberlake. I could talk about Justin Timberlake all night.
Same.
But I think these weirdos have pigskin related questions.
Football related questions.
Yeah, I think.
Let me make the show boring again.
Yeah.
So Ryan, take it away, boring old dad.
I know you cover everybody now, but as a former solely covering the Ravens, I catch some flack every now and then because I think, especially in fantasy football, Mark Andrews could end up being the greatest tight end in football this year. So I was just going to ask, is there any reason we shouldn't love Mark Andrews this year?
No, I love the guy. He has shown that he is a guy that is ready to play. I'm not going to put him in the same category as like Kelsey or Gronk yet, just because, or even George Kittle, just because those guys are so aggressive. Like they will do whatever they want to fall on the ball. They don't care if they're going to break their rib. They don't care if they're going to tear their knee. They're going to do it. So I'm not going to put him in that category yet because he's more of like a wide receiver tight end guy instead of just a fall on the ball kind of guy. But I love him. I think this year is going to be even better for him. I'm not sure about best tight end in football. I assume you're talking from like a fantasy standpoint.
Fantasy, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I can definitely see that because I feel like he is going to just kill it this year. But yeah, I like it.
Before I transition into my question, I feel like that wide receiver room in Baltimore is an absolute shit show, essentially, just to put it bluntly. It doesn't seem to me like there's a very, there's one person ahead of the other. Like everyone's saying that Hollywood Brown is the supposed wide receiver one, but is there anyone in that offense you think is going to take over the reins as the wide receiver one and maybe become like the top target, at least at the wide receiver position for Lamar Jackson? Or do you still kind of see it as being like, this is still another test year to figure out, okay, where's Hollywood Brown at? Where's Miles Boykin at? All these guys.
I kind of feel like it's going to be another year of kind of waiting and seeing. Thankfully, you have Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram, and you don't really need that type of wide receiver. You don't really need like the Julio Jones kind of receiver with the system that they're in right now. It would be nice to have one, but they're not. It's not a requirement. But I do really agree with you, and I never really thought about this before about how everybody's kind of on the same level, because that's true. I mean, everybody does want to put Hollywood Brown up there just because not only is he the one with like the biggest name that everybody hears about, but he's the one that kind of is gelled the most with Lamar Jackson. So I feel like he kind of has all of the tools to kind of get after it, but it's still kind of up in the air for me.
Sure. Go ahead, Ryan.
I saw you react on Twitter to the news that Des Bryant might try out for the Ravens. Do you want to elaborate like how you feel about that at all? Or
I don't really think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. If it does, great. But again, like I'm not really that. I'm not going to say I'm not high on him because I like Des Bryant. I think he's great. I just, after, 3 years of football? Two.
He tried 2 years ago with the Saints and everything fell apart.
How do you know if he can even play anymore? Like, I hate like to sound like I'm not like, rooting for the guy because I am, but it's just how realistic is that to me? It really isn't.
So he tried out and played or attempted to play for the Saints and everything fell apart.
Yeah.
Here's my surprise face. Yeah. It's gonna be the same face when it's like, oh, we don't hear anything.
Yeah, and somebody
with Des
brought
Bryant
this up to
moving
me
on.
the other night, how they said that he also, I think the Browns were interested in him, and even like they were like, nah. So
wow.
they had nobody at that point. Like this was pre like OBJ. Like they had nobody, and they still said no. So
I just you look at that receiver room, and the top two guys that currently have are Boykin and Brown, who were both drafted last year. Snead is supposedly the slot guy, maybe. Like, who really knows? Like, he's been in the league a few years. He's a vet. Chris Moore never seemed to amount to anything. He'll have a game here and there with a couple catches, but then you have a couple rookies coming in, like Devin Duvernay and James Prochet. So I really think, like, it is completely wide open, but I know you said it's probably going to take another year. If you had to pick one guy to come in and really stand out and say goes for 80 receptions or something like that, maybe close to 1,000 yards at the receiver position, who of this wide receiver room in Baltimore could you most likely see that happening for?
see, I haven't really watched a lot of those guys, to be honest with you. I've been hearing a lot of things about Devin Duvernay. Is that how you say it?
Duvernay, I think.
Yeah.
Josh?
Been hearing a lot of good things about him. Moore is kind of like a special teams guy, so I think that's kind of the route that they're going to go with him. But honestly, it's anybody's game at this point. They just have to find somebody that is going to step up. And it's really hard to do this year because there is no preseason. So it's not like you can see these guys in a game time situation and be able to pick out the ones that know what they're doing.
No, that's completely fair. And I'm reading our chat. Guys, you're typing too fast. Is there something you want to say? Just throw it out there. Like, is there something you want to say?
I do have a question. I do have a question for Lindsey. It's kind of a basic question, and I've been meaning to ask like so many people, but I have yet to do so. So this is the first one I'm going to be asking. So there are some really dumb things that we read on social media. I mean, come on, like people just say some of the off the wall stuff, but
Dumb.
Super dumb. So is there just something, maybe a category, maybe a phrase or something, when somebody says it on social media, what is it that makes you cringe the most when you see it on social media? And you're like, oh my, just stop. Like, is there something, or is it a category, or are you like,
a lot of things. But a lot of it for me that really just makes me like facepalm like to 100 is just the people that have these like unrealistic expectations. Like X player is going to be the best in the league or whatever. I heard somebody say that like that, what's that new J.K. Dobbins? I heard somebody say that he's going to be a top 5 running back in the NFL this year. Like, no, the fuck he's not.
no?
Like,
Our first F-bomb of the show. Yes.
Yes, get it, girl.
I get that you're like a fan, and I get that you want your team to do well. I'm not saying that's not a good thing, but like, come on, you know that's not gonna happen. Like, stop.
It's funny because someone on YouTube actually just commented, "How is the Dobbins buzz in Baltimore?" You timed it perfectly, so that was awesome. My question that I have on our show notes here pertains to your one and only love, Joseph Flacco.
Actually, he's up here too. He's right there.
Oh my God, no way. I
Wall with instinct, Joe. You might as well skip this one, buddy.
Joe,
All
you're
right.
not going to win.
If you're about to besmirch Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
I hope you're ready.
All right, so this is going to be.
So needless to say, you're not a fan of Sam Darnold, right?
No, I actually really like Sam Darnold. But
So this
he
is
gets
going to
hurt
be.
and makes awesome girls and gets mono again. You know.
I know, right?
There you go.
But I just the whole mono thing.
So this is going to be.
24, or however old he is.
I know that's how old is he? Like he has one of those faces where like I'd believe you were 32, or if he's like I'm 18, I'm like I could believe you're 18. How old is he? I don't know. 22.
He was a redshirt sophomore when he came into the league.
Yeah, right? I mean,
he was a baby. So
I know. He's like, oh, I was at the doctor's office and I was super surprised. Meanwhile, his wife, girlfriend, whoever she is, she's like, again, Sam. I don't know if she said that. I made that up. I totally made that up. 23, 22, 23, whatever. I don't know. Like like, wow. And I love Sam Darnold too. I do. I say this all in jest, but mono. Okay. Continue.
Right. So back to the formerly elite quarterback known as Joe Flacco.
Formerly?
Somebody.
Okay, wait, hold on.
No, we need the popcorn. Where's the popcorn?
Hold on.
Honey, I need
To be fair, your hat does say make Joe Flacco
Elite again.
Meaning he's not currently elite. So
Okay.
So you're
I need snacks.
I mean, I need snacks, period. So.
Obviously, you're a big Joe Flacco fan, for those that did not know. A lot of people outside of Baltimore, I'm going to go on a limb and say almost everyone outside of Baltimore, sees him as not elite. And my buddy who had moved up from Baltimore my freshman year of high school is a Ravens fan. He thinks Joe Flacco is elite 8 years ago. So I've never seen it. I've absolutely never seen it I don't want to play Joe Flacco in January. That's a whole different story. January Joe scares me. But regular season Joe feels like Nathan Peterman to me. So I want you
that's a slap in the face. Come on, dude.
Nathan Peterman's the best quarterback of all time. All right? That was obviously
Patriots fan.
I know.
How do you say that?
That was obviously an exaggeration. But why do you feel people hate on Joe Flacco so much? Because when you look at his career, stats-wise, he's not bad. Like, he really isn't bad stats-wise, but he gets a really bad rap. Why do you feel he's that way? And then, in your opinion, why do you feel he's elite?
I feel like he gets a bad rep because people hate admitting when they're wrong about things. And I feel like that's kind of the reason why nobody wants to acknowledge that he was the one that led the Ravens on the way to that Super Bowl. Don't start arguing with me. He did.
Yeah. He did. No, he 100% did. That's,
she straight up said, don't at me, right?
He had 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. How can I argue with, like, that's literally perfect. You can't argue with someone being perfect.
Oh, people do it. Trust me. But a lot of people want to say, like, he was carried by his defense and everything like that. And yes, he did have a good defense most of his entire career in Baltimore. But at the same time, like, he didn't regularly lose the game for his team ever. He was there for a decade, and he had his team competitive every single year that he was there. And that's really hard to do.
Especially in that division as well. I know everyone's like, oh, but the Browns and the Bengals are in that division. Yeah, but you still have to contend with the Steelers. Like, it's right. Even if you had 2 bad teams, you still need to beat out another good team to win that division. And you're 100%. And talk about, like, when Joe Flacco was, at his peak, those Steelers defenses weren't anything to bat your eyes at. Like, James Harrison, they had studs, and they still have studs, especially in that front 7. But they had a lot of studs back then. And even, like, game to game, this is why I love that division. The Bengals will pull a win out of their ass against Baltimore every year, and I love it.
They always do it.
Every Ravens fan I know thinks that the team's going to go 15-1, and that one loss is going to be in Cincinnati every year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. I think the Pats go 15-1 every year and lose in Miami because
it's what we do.
So just real quick, if anybody has any questions about, Joe Flacco, I encourage you to check out a website. It's called Pro Football Reference. I know we use it for a lot of our research as writers in fantasy. Scroll down when you go to Pro Football Reference to Joe Flacco's page, and you're going to see an entire section called leaderboards, and he is all over it. So check it out for yourself. I'll give just a few. Let me switch my screen. So if I look like I'm staring at a cardboard box, I'm staring at another screen. So bear with me. So we're talking about top 2 seasons in pass completion percentage. We've got number 9th overall in yards per passing attempt. We've got, there's so many. I'm scrolling. Geez. Oh. We don't want to talk about sacks. That's
Scroll
not good.
back, apparently.
So he is 2010. He was 7th best in passer rating. You're talking passes completed. He's 17th overall in his career in passes completed. Joe Flacco is no slouch. Go ahead and check that page out. And
I think what a lot of
Lindsey
people
saying.
just like cast aside with Flacco is that like everybody sees what the Ravens are doing now. Like they're adding so many weapons to surround Lamar.
Yeah.
They never did that with Flacco.
Yeah.
Ever.
His defense was so damn good.
Yeah, like the defense was so good. It was like, just Joe, we're just gonna give you whatever. Don't screw it up. Like it was basically that was the whole philosophy.
And Steve Smith.
I kind of feel like that's what y'all did with me with this guest spot. They're like, Lauren, show up, don't screw it up.
Yeah, I mean, essentially.
I think I failed.
No, you're killing it right now. But
If anybody
something
failed, it was Josh.
Yes,
Perfect.
I feel a
I
lot.
love it. See, Lindsay, I love surrounding myself with positivity, and they love me so much, which is why we had to bring you on so that we could continue this
positive circle.
Spread the love.
So,
but I'll give you, Josh, just because I can.
Lauren, I went on to Pro Football Reference, and I found something I think that's kind of interesting. It's something called similar players. So this is how they do it. So it's categorized as players whose career was of similar quality and shape. So Joe Flacco obviously still in the league.
So I would be Heidi Klum. Continue.
Yes, essentially, you'd be Heidi Klum. So looking at his career because it goes from number of years, so it goes after 3 years in his career all the way to 12, which I believe is what he's currently at, and then his career. So we're just going to go for his career right now. If Joe Flacco didn't play a game with the New York Jets and retired at the end of this year, this is who Pro Football Reference believes his career stacks up to in the same similar quality and shape. And I'd like to get Lindsay's reaction to all of these before anyone else goes in. So,
can we make these into GIFs eventually? Because I feel like this is just going to be gold.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me write that down in my handy notebook. We're at the 1 hour, 26, 45
Joe's writing
second
things
mark.
down in his handy dandy notebook. I feel like we're in an episode of Blue's Clues right now.
Joe Flacco career. I just misspelled career. Comparisons.
We know English is hard for you.
English is tough. Okay.
I can't edit your own notes, Joe.
I know. All right. So the first one, Jim Everett. Decent, right? Not bad. I do want to add. Actually, I'll add at the end. Phil Simms, next guy.
Super Bowl champion.
I mean, as long as it doesn't
great
take
broadcaster.
I wouldn't say great. Let's pump the brakes on that. Let's look at him run that slant route. Yeah, that's a slant, Phil. Congrats. You played 15 years in the NFL to tell me what a slant route is. I love this comparison. Jay Cutler.
Yes, there it is.
He's really good with chicken.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna save
the reality star Joe Flacco.
I'm gonna save the next guy for last because I think that one's gonna get the biggest reaction. But okay, so we got the Jay Cutler reaction. I agree. I think he is better than Jay Cutler. Yes. I just think if you look at it sucks because if you look at Jay Cutler's stats, they're so much better than he actually ever was as a quarterback, and that's the thing that makes me mad. Ron Jaworski, another broadcaster. Or reporter, I guess, but he shows up on ESPN.
I mean, he was the heart of Philadelphia. I mean, he owned the city. So,
Jim Plunkett, old school,
solid.
Yeah, I mean, decent. Roman Gabriel.
Who
was that?
You know what? We're all gonna find out together.
Is this a romance novel cover, or are these quarterbacks?
Wow. Okay, so Roman Gabriel was drafted number 1 overall by the Oakland Raiders in the 1962 AFL draft.
That's why we don't know.
Yeah, give it up for Al Davis.
Existed.
His most career yards ever was 3,219 back in 1973, which at that point was a lot of yards. So But his completion percentage was never over 58%, and his career completion percentage was 52%.
Oh, so like Derek Carr in the Raiders. Oh,
Essentially. Okay, Roman Gabriel, Matt Hasselbeck, which I think is a very good comparison.
Yeah.
Matt Hasselbeck. Jim Hart. Do we know who Jim Hart is?
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, we can bypass that one. John.
No, we're gonna figure this all out together, Josh.
Was it prior to 1941?
Prior to
No.
1962.
No, he started with the St. Louis team back in 1966.
No.
So the Cardinals?
He
Come on,
played.
Lauren, that's right up your alley.
He played every year of his career in St. Louis
I
minus
was like
his last
negative
one.
40, whatever.
Yeah, well. All right, and then second to last guy, Mark Brunell. That's a good one. All right, everyone get your gifts ready. Everyone get ready. Career, Joe Flacco's comparison is none other than Andy Dalton.
Oh, there it is.
Andy the Red Rifle Dalton. Lindsay, your thoughts.
That is so sad.
I just took 3 screenshots of all 6 of us.
I mean, like, I don't like Joe Flacco, and even I can say that's a little absurd.
I want to cry right now. I spent so much time making fun of Andy Dalton, and like, look where this has gotten me.
Oh, that's terrible.
But it came from Joe, so you can only, take it with so much.
Just send them a virtual face slap, and we'll just move on.
You can slap Josh for them.
Yeah, I'll pass
that
it along. Oh wait, the other way. There you go.
I
look like a cat trying to chase a freaking shadow. I'm just like meow, meow. They look ridiculous, but hey, I'm used to that. I'm fine.
All right, Joe. Since you're done, I'm going to ask my question now.
All right, fine. I thought that was a lot of fun, but okay.
It was fun, Joe. Thank you. We
got to see Lindsay's reaction to a Joe Flacco comparison to Andy Dalton. So
because this is not your show anymore. Remember, we allowed you to do this, Joe. And Faith, are we going to allow Josh to speak here? Because Ryan has been incredibly polite, and he has been sitting there listening with kindness and with empathy. So, hey, but I guess it's your show, Josh, not Faith. What do you want to do?
You know what? I think I don't want to hear Josh speak.
All right, I'll read Josh's question.
Actually, no, I would prefer that Ryan do it since he has been a perfect gentleman this evening.
You have been, Ryan.
So I better go in and find the show notes.
I got it.
Fine,
no, we
Josh.
had the Fantasy Stoner on last week, and 2 weeks ago rather, and he told us that he has played in a fantasy league with you, and he said that you had a lot of opportunity to improve. What are your thoughts overall on fantasy football and that comment in general?
So I love him, by the way. He's fantastic.
Yes.
He's a riot.
He's awesome. We love him.
Awesome.
I have retired from fantasy football.
Okay.
I feel bad because people have asked me to be in different charity leagues and things like that, and I've always done those. But there was a year when I was in 6 leagues, and I just it was just too much. With everything going on during football season, I'm working 14-hour days anyway. I don't need to pack on an extra hour setting my fantasy teams. And I was such a casual fantasy player anyways. I would set my teams on Thursday and then not think about them until Tuesday. And then I'd look and see how I did. I wasn't one of those people that's sitting on my phone watching the TV, waiting for, Antonio Brown to catch a touchdown so I can get some points. That just wasn't me ever. So, but I can't, and I feel and last year when I can't remember if it was his league that I was in, but I was in 2 different ones. And both of them, I just mid-season, I was I don't have time for this. I just can't do it.
Wow.
So I feel that's kind of where that came from, where his comment came from. But I this year, I'm not even I'm just not even doing them anymore. And I feel bad because because I really want to play for charity and things like that, but I also don't want to half-ass it like I did last year.
That's awesome.
That's very fair to everybody else playing. So
Yeah.
And that's totally 100%. So, I mean, we are in fantasy football. And
Sure.
girl, I'm the same way because I'm like, I'm already in way too many things.
Right.
I need to like eat and sleep and do things. But of course, you feel bad because people want like, hey, would you be in this charity? Would you be in this? I'm like, can I just donate and just
Yeah.
be like, done, good. Like I don't have time, and it's hard. I mean, even being in the fantasy world, involved as we are, it's still a huge commitment. So if
Right.
you're not really like one of those people that does sit around like watching to see who gets the touchdowns, because not only does it affect your own team, but you have to answer to everybody else who is now looking at you saying, "You told me to start this guy. Why is he not catching any touchdowns?" It
Sure.
becomes a thing, and you're like, it gets super duper frustrating. Maybe that's just me that makes that noise, but I do it frequently. So judge me all you want. I don't care.
I make that noise, but not because other people are waiting on my answers. I'm just mad. Usually at Josh, because he told me to start somebody.
Oh, burn. So, Lindsay, you're not
You know,
in any...
you're in more fantasy leagues than me this year. So
That's
if you're
true.
asking me questions,
I
you're
actually
on your own.
commend you for that, Lindsay.
Yeah,
There
there
would
was
be the
one year.
stressed out of all of us.
There was one year where I was in 4, and it was like years ago before I did this, and I was in like 2 with friends and 1 with work and 1 with like some like media guys, and I won all 4. I won them all, and like at that point, I should have retired on top at that point, but that's the most success I've ever had. I've never won ever again. So
Clearly you like football because that's what you do. But are you into any other sports? Hockey, baseball, curling?
Same thing with the fantasy football. I literally do not have time for it. I really don't. And like I mentioned, like I'm doing 14-hour days, like football. And then like when I close my laptop, I want to watch like Real Housewives. I want to watch
That's awesome. Yeah.
Bachelor. I want to listen to like my murder podcast. Like I don't want anything to do with football when I'm not working. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I'm not. Like I'm certainly not. But it's just a lot. And it's a lot of guys, a lot of names to remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
So kind of as a piggyback on that, because you don't want to watch other sports, when you're not thinking football, when you are turning your brain off, what's your favorite thing to do to not do anything?
Ooh, thankfully I've got a lot of time lately to figure that out.
Yeah.
I like to read a lot. I'm reading this right now. Hold on.
That's clinking sound scared me.
Oh.
Oh.
About like an old, like not old. She's like a young, like Hollywood starlet, I guess. And like I'm almost at the end, and it's about how like the guy that was like in charge of her, like basically like abused her, and it's about like her whole cycle, like throughout going from like disappearing from Hollywood and then coming back to like bite.
Very time appropriate right now,
Wow.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
I do that. I have a dog, so we like go. I don't know if you guys.
What kind of dog? We need to know.
He's a Pomeranian.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
He's
Lauren has Pomeranians.
he's 13 and a half, and he I walk him around in his little. He has a stroller because he can't go on long walks anymore. So we go on like long walks together, and I like to cook a lot actually. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, look, go get in the kitchen," blah blah blah. But I really do love cooking very much. So yeah.
So I also have, no, we're talking Pomeranians, Joe. You be quiet.
I wanted to ask about her favorite dish, but go ahead. That's
I
In a
also
minute.
second Joe's question.
In a minute.
And
Go ahead.
I know. Culinary genius over here in Faith, but I'm back on the Pomeranian. So I have 2 Pomeranians. I have one, his name is Chewy. He's 16. He's 16 and a half. He's an old man. He's like mostly blind and deaf, so he runs into things a lot, which is very sad. But we have another one. His name is Jack. He's about 2. And we just got a cat, like a rescue cat, and the 3 of them absolutely love each other. But I've only ever found that with Pomeranians. But my oldest one is super duper nice, and my youngest one's an absolute diva a-hole. Like he is so mean, and I'm like, you are a gremlin. Like don't get him wet It's terrible. He just turns into an absolute psychopath. So, is your Pomeranian super sweet all the time, or does he have that, like, I'm going to cut somebody mentality every once in a while?
So he's very sweet. He's very nice. When we go on walks, and if he sees like another dog in the distance, he'll start barking. But once he gets up close to him, he's like, "Oh shit, it's near me now."
Gigantic.
He's all tough until he gets up close.
Exactly. But he's all, like, I spoiled the crap out of him, like, unfortunately. So like you guys are gonna make so much fun. But he will only drink bottled water. He has to see.
Oh no, my dogs only drink filtered water. They have bladder issues.
Okay, all right.
He has to see for it. He drinks it out of a solo cup.
That's awesome.
Yes, pup.
I mean, they're like in different places, like throughout the house. Like, I'm not even kidding. And,
That's amazing.
I mean, like,
bottled water out of a red Solo cup. I did hear that correctly,
That's
right?
incredible.
Okay, but here's the question: like, is it just your gallon of bottled like sparkling water, or is it like Fiji or Evian?
oh, it's just like a deer park out of a.
Okay.
bottle. I've actually gotten away with a couple times, like getting it out of the fridge, like the filter from the fridge, and putting it in a water bottle and then pouring it in there.
Like,
Oh, it's the
So
illusion.
it's all about
Oh, I love it.
perception.
I'm sorry if I miss this. What is your Pomeranian's name?
Howie.
Oh my, what? How
Yeah.
cute is that? What color?
Howie.
He's like a whitish tan.
Oh my god, I have a white and tan one too. Yay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't think any of the rest of us exist anymore. This has become
The Lauren and
Pomeranian.
Lindsay.
Pomeranian.
However, during this crazy COVID time, I've been doing a lot of eating because there's nothing else to do. And I've been pretending to work out. I'm like, I'm going to go put this show on YouTube. And I sit on the couch and watch it. That I don't think that counts as working out. But yes, I got it right. Oh, I'm so bad with these like things. But this girl, culinary school. So she like legit cooks. I pretend and I made like biscuits the other day. And I'm like, look at me.
No,
She's like,
you
okay.
made biscuits
Oh no, you're an
from
air fryer
scratch,
expert, Lauren. Come on now.
Come on.
Biscuits from scratch. That is not an easy feat, sister.
I pastry cut it in the cold butter.
Yes, the pastry cutter. You have to cut in the butters.
Cut in the
And
butter.
it's real butter.
So,
I
I mean-
can't believe it's not butter.
I want to know what you cook, but I know she wants to know what you want to cook. Apparently, Joe wants to know. Who cares what he thinks? But
I
Faith
cook.
wants to know.
I am the cook in this house.
Maggie is the sous chef. Most important part. Faith, you're
Yeah.
up.
All right, so Lindsay, what is your favorite dish to make?
So I love Mexican food. Like I made burrito bowls tonight. I had like rice, beans, some charred corn, some tomatoes,
Fried beans?
juice, black beans.
Black beans, Lauren.
I like them both.
Yeah. So I like a lot of Mexican food, tacos, enchiladas, any of that stuff is my favorite. The one thing I do not like to cook, I'm not a breakfast fan. I don't like breakfast. I don't like eggs. I don't want waffles. Don't give them to me. I don't.
Oh,
Really?
I love breakfast.
So is it like, because I can't eat breakfast. Like I cannot eat within
I'm not
like
a
4 hours of when I wake up. But I
Oh,
do
you
like
promised
breakfast food.
See, I don't.
Oh, really?
I really don't. I mean, I don't even. I like everybody like loves bacon now. Like that's like the thing.
That was literally going to be my question. Where's your
I don't
stance
like
on
bacon.
But
You don't like bacon, Lauren?
I
You're
don't.
I-
I mean,
I just-
I'll eat it by itself, but I don't want it on a cheeseburger. I don't want it on a sandwich. Like I don't want it. in
Okay,
a
that's
salad.
fine.
Oh,
I'll eat
I
it.
That's
just really need to know, where did breakfast hurt you?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll go beat it up if I need to, but
I've never been a big breakfast person. I don't know. I mean, like if I'm going to brunch with my friends, like 9.5 times out of 10, I'm getting like a lunch entree instead of a breakfast.
That's.
But
I'm like crying for you right now.
Do you not like brunch either? Like, I mean, man, brunch is awesome. Throw a mimosa in there. Like,
We
I'm
go to
about
brunch
it.
that's
for
like
mimosas.
breakfast food. That's the BR part.
Man.
I don't like
Oh,
brunch
Lindsay.
things either, so I don't like pancakes, waffles, cinnamon rolls. I don't like it.
You don't like cinnamon rolls?
Oh, see, I don't like cinnamon.
I'll have like a
All right.
bite and then that's it. Like even donuts, I don't like donuts.
Donut. That is the best thing ever in the
I'm
world.
so
I
glad
do like
Dunkin'
donuts.
Donuts doesn't sponsor this show.
Oh,
No, my
You know what's
husband.
really good is when you make homemade cinnamon rolls
Donuts.
and you before you roll them, you put bacon in them. Ooh.
See,
I feel like that's a very different texture. I don't know if I would be able to do that, Faith. I'm intrigued and I'll
You're
try
putting
it.
raw bacon in, so it's gonna cook. It's not
Oh,
gonna
no,
get super
yeah.
crunchy like it would in the pan. But also, I'm a big proponent of different textures. I can't do I can't eat just avocado because it's just the texture about it. I can eat guacamole
Same.
with tortilla chips, but I can't do just plain avocado. It's just too mushy and weird, and no,
Alright.
thank you.
So, is it the sweetness about the bacon, Joe, that you have an issue with? Because they have maple bacon, you know. So there's a sweetness to that makes.
No, I
bacon
love
better.
bacon. I love bacon.
I
was
don't
just-
like bacon.
Yeah, it was
Or
funny.
cinnamon. So that
It
whole
was-
conversation was gross.
It was funny because Maggie, our graphic designer, in the other room supporting us watching the show, had texted me and said,
Love you,
I was
Maggie.
Love you,
about
Maggie.
to say I'm literally just like Lauren, and then she said she hated bacon. So dog
Sorry,
lover.
Maggie.
Yeah. So you
It's
swing
not
and
that
a
I
miss.
hate bacon. I mean, I will have bacon it's wonderful to cook with bacon, especially like a solid New England clam chowder with that, the
Chowder.
bacon in it, the chowder.
The
It
chowder.
is a fabulous, but I can't just I can't put bacon on a sandwich. I need sausage. Like I want breakfast sausage. I mean, maybe bacon on top of that, which just makes me gluttonous, and I am okay with that. But like bacon by itself, I'm not really. I don't know. I wouldn't do well on like a bacon only diet, which I know is like blasphemous. You want to know what else I don't like? Ketchup and mustard. Call me weird now.
Okay, I don't like mustard, so that's
yeah,
fine.
I'm all about the ketchup. You can leave the
Yeah.
mustard on the side.
I could
Hold
eat
on.
mustard with a spoon.
Oh. I
gross.
like to dip. So
Gross.
the regular Snyder's pretzels or whatever that you buy in a bag as a
Yes.
snack, those dipped in mustard.
So good.
I know pretzels and mustard seems to be a thing. I smell mustard or ketchup and I'm like, oh, nope.
How
Like
do you
my
feel
husband
about
will eat
mayonnaise?
things with ketchup. I love mayo.
I love mayo.
See, usually it's the opposite. People hate mayonnaise.
I love
It's
mayo.
very
I
divisive.
just won't put it on a burger. I don't understand how people do that.
Hold on.
That's
Before-
just weird to me.
Before I think, and I hope Faith is going to toss it to Josh for his question, one last thing on condiments. Lindsay, relish, yes or no?
No.
Thank
Thank
God,
you.
no.
God.
Relish is
Relish,
gross.
gross.
Disgusting.
You guys are weird. Dill relish. Give it to me.
Lauren, you
Okay.
don't like bacon, but you like relish?
Yeah, shut up,
Who
Lauren.
are you?
Okay.
Lauren Carpenter. You can find me at StepMom Lauren. I have a website. It is stepmomlauren.com. I write
She went straight for the plugs.
Fantasy footballers, fantasy pros, and now Roto World. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate it.
Oh, gross.
Lauren, that was just on par. Okay,
Disgusting.
one last food-related question. Pickles. Bread and butter or dill?
Dill.
Neither.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Dill.
no.
Pickles are so
All right.
gross.
I love pickles, but I hate
Okay, so clearly these two are trying
And
to
Ryan.
be BFFs.
And
with-
Ryan.
and Ryan are trying to be BFFs with Scott Fish. Because the fish doesn't like pickles
are
either.
gross. So gross.
Pickles are gross.
Pickles are delicious.
So
Doris
gross.
Head has a
Anyway.
garlic dill
All right.
pickle. Okay,
Lindsay.
before Josh cuts us off rudely, Josh, ask your question.
Yes. All right. I have a feeling this will probably be the last question because we're coming up on the 2-hour mark here. But
Oh my God, really? Wow.
yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Time
and,
flies when we're picking on Josh.
So true.
I've been a punching bag my whole life. This is nothing new for me. So Lindsay, they kind of stole my other question with the whole fantasy football thing, but I follow you on Instagram as well as Twitter, and I notice you do a lot of different things on both platforms. What's your preferred platform to use? Because I feel like with Twitter, it's a lot of like just commenting and putting haters on blast, which I find absolutely hilarious. But your use of like stories and stuff on Instagram is like next level. I freaking love it. It's awesome.
Agreed.
Thank you. I like both. I feel like with Twitter, I would like people having more interest in what I have to say rather than what I look like. But I Instagram more for like what you said, like stories and stuff. Like I use it. Sure, like things I post are mostly like pictures of me. But with stories, I feel like it's kind of different. I usually share a lot of different things. And it might not, like today I shared the macaroni salad I made today and like put ingredients in it and like things like that. So it's more than just football based, whereas like my Twitter is mostly football related. I mean, every once in a while I'll throw in some like Bachelor tweets or something like that, you know? But
it's your reality shows. It's okay.
But you know, it's I'm trying to make use of both to the best way that I feel like I can. And I feel like with both, you kind of have to, again, going back to what we talked about when I first came on, going back to what you're good at and not trying to be something that you're not.
I have to say I am super jealous because I love the Twitterverse. It's because I'm a writer. I like typing words. Not so good with the pictures. I don't do pictures well. So like Instagram and I are like not friends, and I am trying to like take classes. I'm not. I lied. I'm just trying to get better at Instagram, and I'm just terrible. I just end up screenshotting things and just send it over to Instagram. I'm like, I don't really care now at this point. God damn it, I'm so bad at this, but I'm really good at Twitter. So I Twitter is my personal one that I really like. But I'm gonna stalk you on Instagram and hopefully get a little bit of tidbit help with Instagram. I'm gonna like take notes, just like in handy dandy notebook. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right on my little like.
Oh, was that my cue? Hi, this is my notebook.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Patriots themed.
Oh,
Good job, Joe.
Gross.
There is a big difference between both platforms. Yeah, 10 foot full, baby. Let's go. But you are really good with both of them, and that's very admirable because I need help in many ways, like but especially with Instagram.
Yeah, I feel like with Instagram, like a lot of people, like depending on who you follow, like we all see these like Instagram models and these Instagram bloggers, and that's not real life. Like that's so fake.
Yep.
So I feel like Instagram turns a lot of people off because of that. Whereas like on Twitter, like everybody's just talking. It's not like we're not showing off our Fendi purses and our private jets because that's real life.
Yeah. I feel like there's more, my personal thing with Instagram is I've actually gotten a lot more like pervs on Instagram than I have on Twitter. Like I get people hitting me up all the time, like just asking very inappropriate things. I'm like, oh,
it's your handle, like Lauren. It's your handle.
Well, okay, you know what?
I'm just saying.
Okay, but I don't get that as much on Twitter. So I think that's why I personally have an issue. So, Lindsey, my handle is StepMom Lauren because my name is Lauren and I am a stepmom. Ergo, StepMom Lauren. So it kind of works. But there is another StepMom Lauren that was around prior to me making my debut into the fantasy world. And she is not in fantasy football. So that is what I have had to deal with.
She's in fantasies, though.
Yeah. Yep. But that's what I've had to deal with. And it's like people like, oh, I Googled your name. Do you know what popped up? I'm like, I'm working on it. Okay. I'm working on it. Takes a while to overcome a website that has a lot of views. So I think probably 2,000 or 3,000 of my followers on Twitter are confused 15-year-old boys.
They're like, why is she made the jump to fantasy football? This is,
right?
This is from ballet to covering the NFL. That seems normal, but from what she's doing to fantasy football, that seems like a big leap.
Yeah, and I look completely different. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, she did
this is not me.
Full facial reconstruction at the same time.
It's like Face Off, Nicolas Cage style.
I
don't know where that came from.
You're just straight gangsta, Lauren. I have the opposite problem, but my Instagram is all of my friends and people that I actually know, and it's now started to carry over from people I know on Twitter. But Twitter's where the pervs come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're
They're
I don't like pervs.
I have people sliding into my Instagram DMs asking me if I want to invest in crypto. That's really the number one thing. It's like, hey, I have a great opportunity for crypto. Like block. I don't care. Like, huh?
What?
Yeah.
I have never. I
Yeah,
don't even know
crypto.
what that means. The first thing that comes to mind is Bigfoot from like cryptozoology or like
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency like Bitcoin.
I am so not hip. Clearly.
Yeah, like Bitcoin. But
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, this has been an interesting show. It's been a
Lindsay's
very
like, you guys
hour.
are weird.
Lauren, I will have to say that you missed the NSYNC love and conversation. So before we let Lindsay go, because Lauren wasn't here, we need to know your favorite Justin Timberlake song.
But it's not Justin Timberlake. It's just straight up insane.
That was mine too, Lauren. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what's the one that was about Britney Spears?
Cry Me
Cry Me
River.
River.
That one is, I think, very epic because I really like to say that a lot. Is Cry Me a River?
Yes. That was mine and Ryan's too.
Nice. Well, yes. I did have to like sneak it in to see. I'm like, which one
This
is
pop
it?
up here, Lauren.
Oh, shit.
Elbow. What?
I just like I was
Social
wiping.
distance thing. You got to do the elbow. You
It
know.
looks like I was just
sorry.
wiping my armpit on poor Ryan's face. It was really bad.
Well, Lindsay, it's unfortunate that we didn't talk about armpits to end your show. Thank you for being with us, though.
Thank
Yes,
you
this
so
is
much.
awesome.
Yes, thank you
so
so
much
much, Lindsay.
fun.
But hold
This
on.
is such a fun like happy hour. Like I said, I haven't been to a happy hour in like
There you
5 months.
go.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to come drink with us anytime? You're more than welcome to.
Yes. Yes. And Lindsay, one more time before you go, where can everyone find your work, your articles, etc., all that jazz?
You can find me on lindseyok.com or Lindsey Ok on Twitter, Instagram, everything, and all that jazz.
Highly encouraged to follow, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
If you enjoy clapbacks at stupid idiots, her.
Yes.
I was just scrolling through her Twitter to find topics to talk about, and I was laughing as I was doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
please.
Awesome.
It's real. It's real.
Yes, it's very real. All right, Lindsay, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Wonderful meeting you in
Yes.
person.
In person.
It's a fabulous happy hour. Cheers.
Woo!
The 2020 way of meeting.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers, sucker.
Ew.
I know. It's the thing I had next to me, and what are you gonna do?
Well, actually, I know what we're going to do.
Oh,
We're going to let Josh speak because Josh has a very important announcement to make because
All right,
there
and I'm out.
have been some people waiting for this announcement.
anxiously.
And that's why we had to do it last. Duh. We had to make them
Rope 'em
tune in
in.
for 2 hours to get to this point.
Gotta have them
So,
wait.
to announce our final prize for the evening,
Can I drum roll?
Go for it. I'm literally anticipating this, okay?
I think
Because
it's
I had
only
to sport my Miami Hurricanes Frank Gore jersey in honor of this.
Joe.
nobody told you to interrupt me.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
that's
I
what
was
I do
about
best.
to say the same thing. You know what? Just for that, I don't think we should let you announce it. Joe, take it away.
All
Oh,
right.
damn, that's rude. I was at least anticipating you doing it for me instead.
Yeah, but it's funnier if I do it because it's
Uh-huh.
more rubbing the wound. Notice, Josh, how I don't interrupt the women, okay? All right. The winner of the signed Frank Gore Miami Hurricanes jersey is... Nice, Lauren. That was beautiful. Dominic Petrillo.
That was one of my favorite raffle items. Besides Blake Jarwin. Actually, all of them are great. What am I saying?
Okay.
It's so exciting.
Speaking of Blake Jarwin, I just want to say I am so glad that he went to such a loving home.
I know.
Yes.
Our girl,
Linda is
Linda.
all about that. Love
Oh
it.
God, it's super exciting.
I
And
wonder
Blake
if we'll get
Jarwin.
a chance to talk to her.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah,
I know. It's crazy how that might happen.
Hint, hint. But Faith, before you get into that,
Yes, sir.
next week's raffle items one more time. Dynasty Trades HQ hoodie. Big one. Excited about that. Signed LaVisca Chenault Colorado Buffaloes mini helmet. And you're still a big fan of the U.
It's right here.
Signed Vinny. Yeah, there it is right there on screen right there. I would grab the Gore jersey to show, but it's all the way over there. And I also would grab the signed Vinny Testaverde Miami Hurricanes jersey that we're raffling off.
Badass.
Hell yeah. Yeah. When I told Josh and Ryan that I was bidding in for a Testaverde jersey. They're like, "Oh, who's gonna go for Testaverde? Are you kidding me? It's a Vinny TU jersey. Get out of here."
Tinny Vestaverde.
Tinny Vestaverde, baby.
Shut up, Ryan. I had a long day yesterday, okay?
You apologize for nothing, Faith. You be quiet, Ryan.
Yes. Tinny Vestaverde signed Miami Hurricanes jersey. Woo! But yeah, those are our items. They're live now. You can see the if you're watching live on Periscope, YouTube, wherever, URL clubfantasyffl.com/WOFF-raffle. It's on there right there. If you're listening to the podcast or on 97.3, just go to clubfantasyffl.com to make it easy on yourselves and click the WOFF raffle up in the top menu bar. It'll take you right there. You can see everything. Those links will take you directly to the GoFundMe, which we are halfway to our goal. So I think we're at $514 right now. Again, all the money goes towards Women's Sports Foundation to raise money. They're proponents of raising money to help get young women into sports as soon as possible, start building those foundations from the ground up. Faith, I will let you take over to kind of preview next week.
Preview of next week. So next week we have joining us for her podcast debut,
Woo!
Ms. Linda Godfrey from Sons of Dynasty.
Yeah.
Hey-o!
We have somebody who recently joined Lauren at her place
And
of business.
Ryan.
Oh, and Ryan.
Who cares about Ryan?
It's Women of Fantasy Football, not
That's right.
and Ryan of Fantasy Football. And
That's next month.
I am channeling her with my glasses, Miss Casey Kasem.
Hey-o!
Get it, girl. So Casey and I are going to be the only two ladies on the Fantasy Footballers. That is what Faith is talking about. Sorry, Ryan. We are taking over again. Still.
As
I'm
we
A-okay
should.
with it.
As we should. And to close out our evening next week, we are talking with Jersey Jen Ryan from footballdiehards.com.
Love it. I'm so excited.
Heckle yeah.
Super excited about that. All right, gentlemen. And my girl.
Is it my time to
No.
wrap it up?
Before we say goodnight, starting from, we'll go Ryan, Joe, Josh, Lauren, and myself. Where can we find you?
Oh. I am at the Fantasy 5 on Twitter. 5 is spelled out, F-I-V-E. You will find most of my writing with the Fantasy Footballers, but you will find me on this podcast and writing on the website at clubfantasyffl.com.
All right.
.com.
Joe.
Joe.
Me. Oh, I didn't hear you say my name. Ryan talked over. Me at Ryan. It's okay. Everyone.
Come on,
All right.
Josh. Thank you.
You can find me at Joe_Zolo. Half my Twitter feed is fantasy football. The other half is sports business and sports in general. If you want to look at my portfolio site, it's joeazolo.com. You can see some awesome stuff on there.
Do it.
But you can see all of my work as well as our other graphic designer, my girlfriend Maggie's work that we
Get it,
do
Maggie.
on social media at Club Fantasy FFL.
Round of applause for Maggie.
Yes, round of applause for Maggie. Big fan of what...
You should be a big fan of your girlfriend.
You didn't let me finish.
Hurry up, bro.
I said big fan of what we've been able to create this offseason, and an even bigger fan of what her and I have brainstormed and come up with for our Stream of the Week segment here with Ryan coming very, very shortly. So, Josh!
Thank God, Jesus. All right, you can find me at The One Hudsonian, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all of my writing at www.clubfantasyffl.com.
Cool.
And then stepmom Lauren. I mean, that's self-explanatory.
Lauren, who are you pointing at?
Myself.
Oh, well, you did this, and okay, great.
I was pointing at my name because my name was right there.
Oh, smart.
See,
Hey
Joe?
now, it's like I have a brain or something.
That's a 5-head play there by Lauren.
I don't even know why that made me laugh, but it did. You guys can find me all over social media, Stepmom Lauren. My work will be on stepmomlauren.com. Make sure you type that right in the URL. Don't Google it on a work computer or in front of your family.
You can find me at ff_leap-of-faith on Twitter. That's the only place I really matter. And you can find all of their work that I make sound better on clubfantasyffl.com.
You matter in our hearts, Faith.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, Joe.
Now it's my time. Okay.
You again?
I know, right? This
We like
asshole.
him.
This asshole, right? The
I
one that
like
hosts
him.
normally. God. Who eloquently never writes down his outro and 96% of the time
Okay,
nails it.
would you just say it?
You want me to go? Oh, you want me to go now? Okay. 4. Ryan, Josh, Faith, and Lauren. This has been the Women of Fantasy Football Show number 2. Join us next week where we'll have Linda Godfrey, Casey Kasem, and Jersey Jen Ryan from footballdiehards.com. You can follow us at Club Fantasy FFL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy. Same time next week, 6:30 p.m.
6:30
Eastern.
next week,
Thank you, Joshua.
Not the same time.
Not the same time, 30 minutes early, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That is when we start. 2.5-hour show, another loaded one. And we have special guests, correct? That we are not announcing. That we did not announce. We have special guests, so you have to stay tuned. They happen later in the show. We're super excited to have them on. We will see you next week.